who made it. You know who made it. You know who made it.
What's going on, guys? It's another episode of DWE Radio, the radio that's not on the radio. But guess what? We're on Spotify, we're on Twitch, we're on YouTube, and we're on X Live. If you're brand new here, thank you for joining us. This is DWE Radio, the radio that's not on the radio. We have some lot of breaking news today. A lot of stuff we're going to be covering here on DWE Radio. We're going to definitely get into some talks about the releases. We're going to definitely talk about TKO, about the first releases they did, about the comments they said. We're going to just give y'all thoughts about some of the news that came out today and from throughout the week, guys. We're going to talk about Raw and SmackDown. So thank you for joining us. Please, if you have the time, please retweet this live. If you're here with us on YouTube, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. We're on YouTube Live. That's Talk It Up Podcast on YouTube. So give us a subscribe, give us a follow, give us a like. And hey, if you want to come back and leave a comment, go ahead. We would like to hear your thoughts. If you want to be you want to come on and give us your thoughts live, there is a link on my page on X that will send you straight to the StreamYard and bring you in, and you will be our caller for today. We would like plenty of people to give us a call today because we know probably plenty of people have many thoughts about the releases that happened today. So go ahead and hit that link, and we will take you straight to the StreamYard. If you're here with us here on live, and you want to leave a comment in the comment section, you will get it read out loud live out loud here live on X or YouTube, wherever you're streaming us from. And we're also on Twitch. If you're live with us here on Twitch, that's DWE Radio, all put together on Twitch. So thank you for joining us on any one of those platforms today. Like I say, thank you for joining us if you're new here. Welcome to DWE Radio. Let's get right into it, guys. Y'all know already. Let me let you guys know. Do not forget to follow my co-host too. That's always with me here on every Saturday, 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, guys. Sometimes we come on a little late. Don't forget to follow my co-host, the Final Boss Baby, 2 B's 1 Y CFO. That's all put together. That's Final Boss Baby CFO on X. Give her a follow. We put out a lot of wrestling content, and please give a new page a follow. That's DWE TV, the TV, our new network page, DWE TV, where you get to watch all of our content go live. That's the Smoke It Up podcast that goes live on that page, the After the Slam podcast that goes live, and the EVP show. You also get to see DW Radio here on live, and you get to see Inside the NFL Mind of Miami live on DWTV. And guess what? The brand new show that's on the DWT TV network. That's the Rundown with Greg and Kyle. They go live every Monday, so go check those guys out. If you want to know what time those go live, go follow the DWTV page on X, and you will get to see when those shows go live. You just put that on notification and you will see it there. Like I say, thank you guys for joining us over there. If you're already a person that follows us, thank you for all the new followers that we got too on that page. Shouts out to everyone who's joining us on that page. Shouts out to you guys. We really appreciate you guys for joining us on that page. Like I said, let's get into it. I think I'm just gonna get right into the meat and potatoes, guys. We're gonna just go ahead and talk about the breaking news that happened today, the releases that happened today. If you don't know, if you haven't been online and you just got online, the releases today. Let me get ready to pull them up here. I want to make sure I get everyone who was released. Like I said, the releases today, if you did not know, and everyone was removed to the Not session. Today, the releases, I'm going to just start from the first. I guess this was the first one. It was Tugaloa, If you don't know him, he's the one that was added to the MFT. He's one of the Tonga's brothers. He came in, I think that was either SummerSlam or maybe Backlash when he also pulled the ref out. I think it was a solo match, and I think he missed the spot. You couldn't tell the video went very viral. We know him as everyone calls him Botchaloa because he always is somewhere doing a bot spot, and that's what he was come to find out to be known for over the period of time. So that was the one release. Another MFT member was Jason Matelo. I was very shocked about this release. I'm going to give you guys the rundown, the history of all the guys that have been released, and I'll run down the history of everyone's history of where they came from if you don't know about them. So don't worry about that. I will definitely get into that as we're talking about these releases, guys. So just sit there, sit tight. And like I say, if you're listening to us on the radio or wherever you're listening to us from, if you're just working out or whatever, thanks. Like I say, thank you for tuning in with us. Also, I think one of the biggest surprises to me from the day, and I think to the whole IWC, is Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston. They're better known as the New Day. I think that was maybe one of the biggest shocks of today, of seeing who was released from the day. I think that was one of the biggest ones as we get into this conversation. Like I said, I'm going to run down the first name that I did say, and that was Tongaloa. He's better known as Tamatega. He actually wrestled in New Japan. He was in pro wrestling also, and he went to the WWE. He was actually trained by the Dudley Boys. I did not know that. And he was also trained by his dad, Hikalea, too. Like I said, I did see some of his New Japan stuff. So I did see him. I knew he had like a style that was kind of slow, but a slow little pace that a lot of, I wouldn't say WWE people are not used to. So I was wondering how that was going to go when he did appear on the WWE when he got called up. He was only 42 years old. That's about the age where they usually try to put the scrap on you and try to make you that main star. Most of the majority of the time, that's the target age they try to put you down. Everyone knows that his brother is Tamatega, Tamaloa. Two, they are the other two that are still with the MLT into this day. We do not know of them being departing or being released so far. It seems like these was the only names that they did say. Like I said, the ones that we got here before I called out everyone. He made his debut back in November the 8th, 2008, when it came to wrestling. So shouts out to him. It seems like he had pretty much a good career. Like I say, he did do some stuff in New Japan. He was also in the Bullet Club. If people don't know, I don't know if people really know about that. I did remember him doing some having some pictures of him being in the Bullet Club. The tall brother, he was with him too. They actually won. I think they won the tag titles at one point. So I do remember that. And they also had won the IWGP Tag Team Champions, him and his brother, when they was on the Indies. So he's like I say, he's had a pretty much good career. He was with RH. He's also has been in New Japan. Hold on, let me bring Final Boss here. I don't know if she hears me or not. Hopefully she does. Like I say, he's been with New Japan. He's been with AEW. He actually had a match with John Moxley, which I did not know that. I come to find that out here by doing some research. He was also in TNA. He was in TNA wrestling at one point. He was back in TNA 2015 through 2016. So he wasn't with TNA too long, but he was in TNA wrestling. So shouts out with him with that. And then New Japan, he was in New Japan through 2016 through 2024. back then. And let me see. And his run with the WWE was from 2024 to 2026. So that was on Tonga Lore there. To give y'all guys a little background on him, if you do not know about him, like I said, I did see a couple videos of him in his New Japan days, and I also remember seeing pictures of him and his brother when they did win the tag team belts over there in New Japan. Let's go to Jason Matella, known as Geoffrey Cosby. And he's also up in that age too. He's only 43
All
years
right, hold
old.
on, hold on. Yeah, I'm here. I heard everything that you said. Um, Good job with the rundown with the Tongas. I think Miami turned into the Botchaloa because he botched the hell out the Tongas name. So we just call them the Tongas. We make them nice and easy. Um, but I
But their
feel
name,
like
their
the
name
Tong,
sounds so it's so
yeah, yeah,
similar. It's so
yeah. But
similar. So it's
the trick
like,
is that you always know which one is Tongalo because he's the tall one, Tololo.
yeah.
But yeah, I call them Tongas because, like you mentioned, there's three of them and the names are very similar. So we call them
Hmm.
just the Tongas. But they haven't been around for that long. They all debuted right when we got the Bloodline 2.0. So they haven't been on the roster very, very long. And, at one time, the whole thing was with the Bloodline, like who's going to debut next, right? They kept, they brought East Tonga out really one by one. Then we got JC Mateo, formerly known as Jacob Cobb, not Cosby's, not Bill Cosby. Now this is, unless he might
Cops,
have had a
cops.
different name, but
No,
but
cops. Yeah,
yeah,
cops,
yeah.
cops,
Well, not an S, Jacob. It's just singular. It's Cobb. Um,
cops.
yeah, like the corn on the cob. Yes, like just straight, just one. You can't have more than one now. We ain't trying to knock it back. Boom. But but yeah, they all kind of came around the same time when they were really stressing the idea, the storyline of having multiple Samoans debut, and us not knowing who was going to debut next. Um, and they kind of really got lost in the sauce after, just like the rest of the bloodline. Well, the other members of the bloodline did. Really, bloodline members of 2.0. Besides, really, Jacob, he's still your breakout star. Now he's breaking out a whole lot more now. But one thing I definitely want to give you credit on is the age. I didn't know he was 42. Um,
Hmm.
and so that's hefty. And if that is correct, which it probably is, just making sure if we look at the right person's name, now there's a lot of them. If that is to be correct, then that's pretty hefty for someone that just moved over. We know people like AJ Styles moved over late. He was in the Indies for so long. Um, but being 42 it's a little hefty because remember you have Roman and the Usos who are like what 40, exactly
Hmm.
40. Yeah, we have the sporadic ones like I believe um Finn Balor's like what 40, 41, I believe. We
Yeah.
know Damian Priest is 44.
Hmm.
So for them to only be in for I think it's like been about exactly 2 years, almost 3 years, and be 42 is a little tough. They do like older stars. They've been mostly like their golden age for them is like 37 now, 30. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, being 42 for is a bit hefty because you got to look at it like, hey, well, you're 42 now. You've only been around for roughly about 2 years. Um, so let's see. Well, how long do we have with you realistically? Most stars now, WWE stars are retiring around the age late 40s, so 46 through 48, 49. So if you're already 42 now, how many more years we got left with you? Probably 5, 6 more years. So ideally we
Hmm.
would just sign you to like one, maybe 5-year deal, if we feel like, there's an investment there, and then you probably won't re-sign again because it's just the body. Um, Not saying you can't go, not saying you don't look great, but statistically, because it's an athletic sport. So that's also a thing. I did not know he was that old. JC Mateo, you know what? Yeah, formerly known as Cobb, he he came in with a lot of promise, right? We heard a lot of good things about him.
Yeah, exactly.
We heard a lot of good things about him, but I he was off to a really good start. He came as being very dominant, and then it kind of fell behind curtains. And that was something that, I talked to you about just last week. I was like, man, because we had releases last week, and I'm like, man, I wouldn't be surprised if they let go of most of the bloodline besides, of course, the Usos. No, Roman is just Roman Reigns. But besides Roman Reigns, the Usos, uh, Jacob and Solo, I would say the other ones are not safe. And look what happened. Now we still have two of the Tongas left, um, but we only saw one last night, and I just kind of find it a little bit odd for them to keep the other two Tongans or Tongas, and and then just have one be gone and also have JC gone as well. Because they were all part of Solo's faction. And then the story that they're telling now is, he is against, Jacob, and Jacob's basically is like the loner. So I just kind of find it odd for us to continue this story. Now, it don't feel like WWE cares about stories, but we saw what happened with Kyrie was saying. They didn't give a damn. But I just kind of find it odd that you're gonna let two people of the group go, and then we're gonna see the other ones be around, and we're just gonna pretend like, oh well, we always had this amount of people left on in Solo's group here and the NFTs. So I just find it to be weird. I feel like, of course, we don't want this, we don't hope this, we never wish this, but I feel like they're just gonna end up probably letting them go because I cannot see them continue this story and we just have members of Solo's group missing. But I
Well,
also I also feel like it's also a point where they're hoping that we haven't noticed that people are gone because as you see, we had two last week and this and well the week before last, and this yesterday we only had one. So I guess they're kind of hoping that we don't notice, because even me, I was like, no, it's only two times. Like, no, it's three. I'm like, no, it's two. And then JC Mateo like, no, it's three. I actually looked. I'm like, oh yeah, there is actually. So I'm thinking that WWE is hoping that we don't know how many Tongas is around. We kind of just don't, notice that in the story. But I just kind of find that odd, man.
I think that, and I'm not. I just think I'm not surprised about the one they let go. The Jason Matella was kind of like shocking to me a little bit.
Is he the
But like
one that's injured? This is the Tonga that's injured. Is that him?
from no from
Oh,
what I understand, actually he was there. All of them was healthy from what I understand. Final boss, because I did look at it the week before because they did the angle with Jacob, and the one they released, he put him on the table. He kind of got off the table and kind of boxed the spot and then got back on. And
yeah, I've seen that.
Jacob,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Jacob put him through the table. So from what I understand, none of them was injured. The only one that was injured, or they said was kind of injured, is the tall one. But he was back like quick. So maybe they told him, hey man, if you're injured, man, we're gonna have to let you go. He probably like, man, forget that. I need this money. I'm just gonna work through injury. I don't know. Maybe that's the
There
case.
was a time where there was a saying that WWE would not release you when you're injured, but now it doesn't seem to be the case anymore.
Oh yeah. Those days are over. Those days, I think it was a NXT person that was first did that way. If I'm not mistaken, I
Well,
could be
also,
wrong.
Rich Holland was also released while injured.
Yeah. I think it was. If I'm not mistaken, I think he maybe was the first one. I could be wrong, but yeah, he it definitely was. It definitely, all the ones that we seen was not a surprise to me. I think the most one, I think if you were just talking about these two, was maybe Jason Matella final boss. I'm not gonna lie to you. Now Tonga Lord, I kind of can see because he was injured. It took him a little time to come back, and they really wasn't using him. much. They was literally using the one that be like, yeah, 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 yeah. They was using him the mostest out of all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see them letting him go. Final balls. Um, the tall one, it seems like they're using him a lot. So probably they will keep him. I will be shocked if they
Well,
let those
there
two
was a
go.
story that they were doing where it seemed like one of the Tongas was gonna um side with Jacob. Then they pulled back from it. And then now
Yeah.
the whole story is really the whole story, if you really look at the story now, it has nothing to do with the other members. It's more so the stories between the Usos with Roman against Jacob. And Jacob said has issues with Solo and everybody else
Hmm.
is just around just to be his goons.
Hmm. Exactly. Yeah. I think that's the same thing I was saying too. Like I said, I was reading off of some of the stuff with JC. He was also in New Japan too. Final balls. So I know that he was close to that age. He was only like 5'10", so he's like on that shorter side. So probably like around like that Rhino size maybe. I was just wishing that they could have maybe put him by himself because I would like to see where he would have went in his story. I know he was with. I don't know if you knew this, but he did start his career in 2009. He was with
Mm,
Underground 2015 to 2019 Final Boss, which I did not know that. Um, he was with PWG in 2016 through 2019. He was also with Program of Wrestling in 2017 to 2018. And then he went to New Japan in 2017 to 2025. And he
mm,
also was in AEW Final Boss, which I think I did see a video of that. It was in 2020 to 2022 and 2024. He was with him, and he also did some stuff with the Inner Circle and John Mossy back then. Final Boss. He was also ROH World Tag Team Champ too with FT and he was with FTR. He was around those guys too. And we all know about his career. He came in WWE in 2025 through 2026, where he joined the Bloodline slash MFT, and the rest was history. Final boss. He
mm.
debuted his match against LA Knight. He only had a few matches here with a couple people finding balls. He did a lot of tag team matches. He tagged a lot with Solo, which I thought they was going to do something with that. I would, like I said, I wouldn't mind them seeing him by himself and seeing how it would work out. But I did notice that one thing you said, and I don't know if you said it on air last week when we did the last DWE radio, is once they let one person in the group, it seems like they mostly let the whole group go now. That's something new. If your
Yeah, and
husband
I
and wife, you're getting let go
yeah,
quick, so that's really
and
interesting too.
I think that's done too, yeah, as a cost saving measure, but it also is a measure done creatively speaking. Because when you let go one person of a tag team or one person of a duo, like Selena Vega and Aleister Black, now you're stuck with the whole conundrum of, well, what do we do with the person that we have left? So we kind of throw them
Mhm.
in the story, pretend like someone, pretend like they didn't exist. And with Asuka, we heard mentions of the Kabuki Warriors, on Monday on commentary. So it was Friday brought it up. But now, we got Oscar kind of just, there. We look at Chelsea Green, of course, she had the her service, which I thought had a lot of potential. But unfortunately, Piper Nivens suffered a pretty bad injury, a neck injury that is most likely going to be a career ending injury. We're not 100% sure, but that is that's the worst outcome that we're looking at. We're hoping, for the best, but that is realistic now. We're kind of like in the KO thing, like where, hey, that could be the thing, but we are hoping that, we can find a way to kind of fight through it like KO. Um, so we haven't seen her in quite some time because of that injury, of course. And then so all we had left was Alba Fire and Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green, of course, had an injury as well, a leg/foot injury. Then they turn the gimmick into, well, we're gonna put you in like this wheelbarrow style thing and have Alba do all the matches for you. Now, of course, in the previous releases, Fire was on that list. So what do we got now? Well, this week, we saw Chelsea Green standing up backstage and saying, I got a birthday gift for you, Tiffany. I can walk again. So we're like, okay. So we're working on transitioning her from being the her service, because the her service is gone. Like there's no one left of the group. It's just her now. So we're transitioning her from a stable to just being a solo star. And no pun intended, solo score, but we're transitioning her over now. And so this is the thing, is when you release only one or two people from the stable, you're stuck with creative wise. What do we do with the remaining members? So that's why I think they had decided just to say, hey, kind of don't want to deal with that. Let's just go ahead and release them all together and just drop the idea of the faction of the couple. Same thing with Aleister Black and Zelina Vega. One, there's a little bit more tough because, they are married, and, it's kind of hard to give 100% if, they let go your spouse. I mean, let's just be honest. Like, oh, you're probably gonna be, screw this company, or you're not gonna be that 100% anymore because they let your spouse go. Um, I mean, so, I mean, and then they were together. It would have been a little bit more different if, they hired her. Well, previously she was doing her own thing. He was doing his own thing. When he had his return, she was, chasing United States Championship, but they brought them together. So it'd be kind of a weird thing creative wise to see just one of them. And they were last seen as being a duo, I liked it. It was a very, uh, majestic type of spooky. I got snakes. I'm in the back style of duo. It really kind of embraced Aleister Black gimmick more, is what Selena Vega had to do. But it would have been really odd to kind of see her just back there and no Black. Like, oh, so you just spooky by yourself. And they were to go ahead and keep keep Black and let her go. I think that kind of could have worked, but you kind of have him just kind of in limbo because they were supposed to be this ultimate spooky duo. So this is what we're seeing now. The difference with the Tongas is that the group it's a big faction, right? There's three Tongas plus, Mateo plus Jacob, which he's out of. He's on his own, but he was part of that group, and of course Solo. So we got a really big group here, so we can kind of sprinkle our releases now because we got all these people. But I think if it was just two Tongas, it's very possible they would just let them both go. But we got three, and we have also Mateo. Um, so they kind of got room to kind of do that. But again, I just kind of find it weird that with the story, you're gonna have people missing from the story. I think they're just gonna kind of breeze past that.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see. I think the most shocking one final boss for me, and we'll get to the last two that was on this list, is Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. We Everyone knows them as best as the New Day. It went real viral on X. If you're on X, I mean, I can't go nowhere without seeing people very shocked about the New Day being released final boss. I think there's nowhere where I mean there it was like the number two trend. It was so shocking. They was number two trend today, and it's just I think that's one of the most shocking things out today, Final Balls, when it came to me. When I said it to you, you was like New Day, and I was like, yes, New Day, and I was even shocked. I was so shocked. It didn't really hit me until I started seeing all of the videos that people was posting out and things like that. Final Balls. Um, I know everyone remembers them for remember Kofi Kingston for Kofi Mania. I love when they did the cereal stuff when it came out of WrestleMania with the cereal. I remember them. I don't know if you remember them hosting one of the WrestleManias. That's when Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy returned in that tag team match for that WrestleMania. We thought that they was going to add the New Day because back then they was like crazy on top. The crowd was going wild because we thought they was going to be added to the match. We do know that Kofi Kingston, he was the one-time WWE champion, four-time IC champion, three-time United States champion, 16-time tag team champion, and was one of the first and only African-born WWE champions in WWE. And he's also a Triple Crown champion, man. We all know about the 2 years ago where you said you was very upset where they did the angle with Big E, and they was seeming like they was about to do. They really went heel, but never went nowhere with it. I think we think the same. Where they should have did something with that, and they didn't do nothing with that. I do know that Kofi Kingston was with WWE for 18 years. He had an 18-year run, Final Balls.
Yeah,
With
remember Kofi
WWE.
Mania,
Yeah, Kofi Mania.
King Kofi.
Yeah, King Kofi. I mean,
Hmm.
man, it that like I say, they may be one of the most biggest shocks on the list, Final Balls. If you ask me, I still don't like the fact that they made Kofi lose so quick to Brock Lesnar, and we all know why because they had just
Hmm.
signed a deal with Fox. They was trying to impress Fox Sport. We
Hmm.
know Cain Velasquez came out that match because he wasn't in the best shape. They say I remember back then they were saying Vince wasn't
Yeah,
too happy when he took off his shirt because he didn't like the way he
yeah,
was out in shape
Velasquez.
and things
Yeah,
like that. So
yeah.
I think that was one of my biggest things. We all know about Big E. His career is shorting, which I'm still upset about. Man, we know that he's not going to return. He's retiring. So I just wish they would have did something with that, Final Balls. Something with
Well,
that whole
and here's the thing is that the New Day, they've been through a lot, right? Remember when we first got to debut the New Day where they was going more so for a choir like gimmick. Because remember those vignettes came out and we had like the choir singing,
mm-hmm.
and then we went from that and it went to the the bootios with the unicorns and the trombone and the cereal and the pancakes, and it was so over. And we always talked about how great Xavier was during Royal Rumble when he did those crazy spots, stepping on pancakes. Like he was very, very good at doing that. Probably one of the favorite moments of Royal Rumble. Um, just athleticism is just out the wall, so athletic. Same thing for Kofi. And he had they had their battles because remember they had a very famous YouTube channel, Up Up Down. WWE said, you got to kind of be done with that because unless we're making royalties off of it, like we don't want you to have it. So we had that issue. We also had the sex tape issue with Paige and with Xavier Woods. We all know the story about that, how Paige was going to take her life because it got leaked. There was a lot of pieces to that as well, which I don't think it was that big of a deal, but you know, it, there's that. Um, and then you know, it, Xavier was never pushed to his limits. Like he wasn't, he had all this talent. He was super great on the mic and very athletic. He really was the full package. But he wasn't given his full potential. And then they kind of danced around, of course, years later of the idea of breaking them apart. But then we read things, we heard rumblings about how they didn't want to break them apart because they didn't know if one of them would sink, the other one would float, vice versa. So they decided just to scrap all that and turn them heel. And of course, we got the New Day 10-year anniversary, which was absolutely amazing. Probably one of the best things they had did for years. Since, well, the best thing they did in years since Big E was off TV, of course, with injury, neck injury. Big E was part of that. We thought it was going somewhere, even if it wasn't physical for Big E, but we never got anything from it whatsoever besides them just being mean guys and having their family out there and just being mean, right? Um, and then I was put into iCall, and I said it before on previous radios. Just not all the radios, it's DW radio now. Hold on, I didn't make it yet. But I say it was this awkward thing where you got, well, we know we had a 10-year anniversary. We know about the angle / segment. There's no other follow up between you guys and Big E, but yeah, we got Big E doing post show announcing, and New Day is like literally like 10 feet away, and we'll just like ignore that fact. Like it was just weird. Um, and I hate saying it. I said it to you right before we got on here today. I was like, the thing is that think about what happened this year. Well, late last year, this year is that we heard the news that Big E was officially retired. WWE was waiting for Big E because remember he kept getting follow ups. They were looking at his neck. At first, we heard positive news. He said, and then he came out saying, well, the scan show I haven't had any new bone growth in 2 years is what he said. And with that, he said, hey, if something changed in the future, maybe. But as of right now, the answer is no, I'm officially retired. And we got him in Slim Jim commercials saying that he's retirement life and he's playing golf. We're like, okay, it's official now. We also got a statement from Big E saying that, he was done. WWE moved past him. He's busy on his schedule, but then we just saw him part of the post team. So like, okay, well, I guess he's not done then. And I feel like, and again, I hate saying this, but I feel like they was really lingering on to that hope that, and by day, I mean WWE TKO, was really, lingering on that hope that Big E would be able to return. But when they got that news, late last year, early this year, that he's officially retired, that, hey, he cannot get cleared, that's when they said, okay, what, we're not going to get this act back together. Because he just recently announced that. It's found to be odd. Now, I will say this. That reports came out that it wasn't just, hey, you're gone. We read reports from Sean Ross Sapp and also Body Slam and Corey from Body Slam, that it was a mutual agreement with the New Day, that they wanted to restructure. And restructure is the new corporate word. So we're in sports, but we're in sports entertainment, and restructure is a corporate level word that they've been using really since around the pandemic time is when that word started becoming a thing. But that they wanted to restructure their multi-year contracts, which means that, which implies, until we hear otherwise, that their contracts were not ending. They had a few years left on those contracts, and that they wanted to renegotiate is I guess the word, their contracts as far as financials. And the New Day said no, they declined it, and so they said, well, then we can't keep you. And I guess basically because it was neutral, they said, okay, we understand. You can't. You live up to what we initially signed for, which is fair. Hey, you guys signed for it. Then we're okay with going. And that's what basically has been reported. Um, and so it's not like they were out to lose a New Day. And now that we know that piece. However, it also shows you that really without Big E, they knew that the limitations on them was there as far as how much they can get them over, because they haven't really been over really since the anniversary angle. Um, they had some of the best matches with the Usos. They recently had the match with the Return of Usos before they decided to go back to the Bloodline, which again probably was the best match in a long time. They were doing things with Grayson Waller, but then we kind of saw him kind of floating around Javon Evans. So the writing was kind of there, but again, WWE did see value in them. They did not, I don't think they wanted to actually release them, but I think the value really diminished with Big E retiring. And this is going to be a very, very hard thing to hear, but we got a lot of call ups and a lot of those call ups, some of those call ups have been African American. Of course, we got who? We got Trick Williams. We got Obafemi. We had Carmelo Hayes. Well, he was some time ago, but still pretty new. And Javon Evans. So, could be related, could not. But remember, New Day's been around for a while. These are new, fresh, especially someone like Javon Evans, who's like, 21, 22. He just had a birthday. And these are new, fresh African American males that we can eventually put into tag teams. I kind of feel like, and I don't like it because I love Trick Williams. I can kind of see them putting him with somebody the way they're booking him right now. I feel like eventually they're probably gonna do something with him and Sami Zayn and have them join forces and be together. It'll just, I don't know. Or Carmelo said, I'll see you guys soon. So I don't know what that means. I don't know if he's injured or something. That I don't know. So if you know, let me know.
Yeah. Yeah.
He is.
He remember he got injured when he did that match between him and Sami Final Boss. Remember, that's why everybody got upset
So
that
you
he
still
wasn't in WrestleMania.
Yeah, so he's still injured. So he's still recovering from that injury. Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I can kind of see them really the way they're booking right now. I can kind of see them, unfortunately, putting Trick Williams with a partner. Javon Evans has been dancing around the idea of being in because he's in the tag team story divisions. So, and like I said, he has a very similar, style like the New Day. I think he would have been really good just to have him with the New Day and just kind of be that third person. But yeah, so this is also where we are. I know it's a hard thing to hear, but I mean, just look at where we are. Again, I'm not saying that WWE doesn't want black people. I'm not saying that they're racist, but I'm saying that, hey, the value is going to change and you got a lot of new up and comers. One of them of which Javon Evans is the style is maybe similar to like a New Day, but way, 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 way younger person. We know Big E's not coming back, so we know that faction, as far as it having that same oomph to it is gone now. So the value just kind of diminished. And like the New Day should have, which they did, hey, we are still worth everything that we signed 4 years ago because we are great athletes and they really truly are, and we deserve every penny of it, and we are the OGs. And WWE doesn't see it that way. They see it as like, hey, take it or leave it. Which is really unfortunate. And I know you were really shocked and upset about the New Day. You kept saying the fucking New Day, and I haven't seen you really be stuck on a release like that and like really forever. You were clearly blown away, and I think it's kind of like the shock syndrome because we kind of look at it like our truth, or like, man, they've been around for so long. How could they? You would think they're on that safe thing, kind of like Miz, right? Because they've been around for so long.
Yeah.
You would think they have, they are a permanent fixture. And again, they probably were but they just wanted that fixture to cost a little bit less of a coin. They didn't want to pay for shiny new car. They wanted to pay for, maybe, older model car. Um, and so where they go from here, they can probably go anywhere, that they want to go. Um, but it just kind of sucks. I also had concerns about the tag team division because they were one hell of a tag team. For me, my favorite Uso matches were against the New Day. Like I said, we recently had one right before they moved on to the Bloodline story. When they said, "Hey, we're back as tag team," they relive up that feud. We got that amazing that amazing commercial um promo by Xavier when he talked about the Usos and saying that his Rikishi, which is their dad, got bad BMI and all that stuff. So he's talented, but it does really suck. But at least based on the reports that we heard, we know that they weren't just disposable. We know that they just did not or could not or a little bit of both wanted to pay out the rest of the years on those deals. And New Day decided to, as they rightfully should, take their pride and go. And WWE didn't try to stop it. It's really what it comes down to. um I don't know if you have anything else you want to say. I know you got a lot to say about the New Day.
Nah, you kind of basically said what I was thinking. I know I think I kind of worry about when I don't see certain people no more Final Boss. I think I'm more worried about that. I think we did see a report come out. I'm not too sure who reported it, but they were saying that WWE has no clue. I guess TKO, I would say, has no clue of who all is on the roster. So once they see the person go out there and perform, you can see they'd be like, okay, yeah, let's do away with them. I know I told
Hmm.
you this, and I don't know if I said this in a live. I don't know if I said it on DWE radio, but I
Hmm.
knew once y'all said that deal with Roman, I said, oh well, they're going to be. I said, well, what the hell they going to get this money for? What they don't got that type of money. And I know they're going to be
But then,
searching around for
but
money and trying to make room to make have enough money for themselves and make money
you
to pay
know,
their people
and
too.
I'm glad you brought up that whole thing about money because remember we were under the impression that we weren't get well, we and I mean we in the U.S. were not going to get a WrestleMania for at least a couple years. Really estimate about the next 5 years because they were going to be in Saudi Arabia. You know, getting all of the coins that they possibly can. But then we heard about the stuff going on, the war, and now it's reported that they're going to do WrestleMania 28 in like Tennessee. So we're not going to go overseas for 5 straight years like how we originally thought. So with that being said, we now know what that the money is not going to be there. We heard about and we saw the ticket sales being lower for this year's WrestleMania. We can only assume that by 2028, which again that is some time. But if the way things are going, if they don't pick up and don't pick up, in the right time, and we're looking at 2 years out, where hey, we don't know who's going to be left on the roster at that point, based on a lot of these stars now that we love that are their main eventers are on like their last few runs in the company. So we're still looking at almost 2 years out. So we don't know what the roster is going to quite look like in 2028. We don't know who's going to stay, who's going to go. We'll have a whole nother WrestleMania next year, and then they'll probably do more releases like they do every year. So we don't know who's going to be around by 2028. So with that being said, are we going to have those monster sale tickets again for how we used to have for during WrestleMania for the year 2028? Or is it going to be kind of how it was the last previous years, like this year, where ticket sales, they are selling tickets, but it's a way bigger decline. And hey, that's 2 years from now. So what happens in 2 more years? What? More inflation. So ticket sales will be even higher probably by the time 2028 comes, and people are gonna be less likely to actually go ahead and buy those tickets because of pure costs. Um, and so with that being said, you kind of have to plan for that future. So if you're re-signing stars and if you're putting people up on the main roster, you're renegotiating contracts, and we're not doing at least the straight run in overseas where they think they can make the most bang for the buck. That's where things kind of get really, really tight. And Nick Khan said, "Hey, we're still going to Saudi Arabia for Rumble and for WrestleMania. That is still the plan, as we know of, but we don't know what can happen in the world, so far out from there. Would they be actually able to do so?" And then again, we have a little bit of a different mindset because we're looking at, again, a year from now. And are those people still going to be able to go to WrestleMania? I'm talking about superstars. Are they going to be able to perform at WrestleMania, a year from now? Because remember, one thing we got was what? We got Bianca was part of that conference for WrestleMania in Saudi. And we got the news this past WrestleMania that she's expecting a baby. Now, granted, should be done had long had a baby way before next year's WrestleMania, but will she be willing to come back that quickly in time for next year's WrestleMania? Because we're looking at really just a year from now, and she's 6 months now, so the rest of the months for the baby, then to have the baby and all that time, would she be back in time for WrestleMania? See, that part's gonna look a little bit different. Liv Morgan, hey, like it, hate it, love it, whatever you want to go ahead and do. Liv Morgan, she is susceptible to a lot of injuries. So we don't know, if she is going to be 100%, just like any wrestler, they're going to be guaranteed to be at WrestleMania. Anything can happen between now and next year. So that card might change a little bit. That means the money might change a little bit because hey, we wanted this based on the conference that we had, and we got this now, which is not normal because again, we're looking at something that's so far in the future. I mean, look what happened last year. You know, it completely changed the state. We thought we were going to Louisiana, and then we turn around, and what happened? And we're back in Vegas, right? We thought they were going to go overseas for the next 5 years, and nope, in 2028 they're going to Tennessee. So anything can happen when you're talking about that far out. Um, so they got to kind of prepare for that, and they're making a lot of calls. We got Evil. We got a lot of call ups. We got Blake Monroe coming to the main roster. Your Sorukas, your JCs. So there's a lot of call ups around, and they're just budgeting it out. And you would assume, which I don't know for sure, but maybe checks might be a little bit bigger once they move to the main roster from NXT, even if it's not a big adjustment, depending on how they value the star. There's still going to be some adjustment on pay eventually because you're moving from, and hey, they don't like using the word development brand, but it is the entry level brand, it's NXT, and now you're on the main roster, so you should be getting a boost by getting a main roster. It is in theory a promotion. So, um, hey, I mean that's kind of where we are. We also got a lot of your returns. You got Paige returned back, which is a big return recently. We got that. We got Brie Bella returned back recently. We got Nikki Bella who returned. We had AJ Lee who apparently signed a multi-year deal, who is gone away, but she's gonna, I guess, sign a multi-year deal. So I would assume she will be gone for a while and then come back and do something else with WWE as far as her feud. But she was a return. Where I'm hearing rumbles about Lacey Evans wanting to return to wrestling. Now those rumbles did not say WWE, but it did say, to wrestling. Um, uh, we got, um, I think was Blackheart signed as well.
Yeah, she is signed.
Yeah.
From
So yeah.
what I
So
understand, she's signed.
yeah. So yeah. I know. Okay. So yeah. So we also got that. So we got a lot of new signings. A lot of call ups. Jordan Grace. She was a recent call up as well. So there's all these pieces that are coming ahead. Oh, Ethan Page also. Ricky Saints. These are your call ups now. So when you do that call up, you gotta call for that money at least a little bit. Um, so that's unfortunately the readjustment. Now, the thing that scares me is that Sean set a group of releases. So we don't know if they are done or not yet. I am surprised that they kind of spaces out a little bit more because usually they'll have it rumble for a couple days. So I was like, well, we'll probably hear the last of it by Monday, Tuesday. It usually starts on a Friday, usually ends by midweek. But here we are. We didn't hear anything, and then today, which is 1 week later, because remember we got the releases on last Saturday.
Hmm.
Here we are again. So it's just a rebalancing of books at this point, and it sucks. It is sad, but that's where we are. Um, and
That,
then the
that's what they're doing
network
them
stuff,
every week now.
the network stuff. Now remember, um, we took all NXT stuff off Peacock. They're now on CW. So there's a network move as well.
And NXT will be the PLEs will be on ESPN too. So don't forget
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So we got that. So we don't know if there's more, people from that side of corporate saying, hey, what we're looking at, who you got on the roster, how's your budget looking, et cetera, et cetera. We can pay this amount and WWE really wants this amount. We gonna pay this amount. Okay, why not? Can you meet us in the middle? So there's a lot of things going on in the last few months that is impacting where they stand. And then with disappointing sales on top of that, ticket sales, I mean, it's only a factor.
Yeah. Um, Before we move to the next thing, I think the biggest thing before we move to our next topic is I kind of worry about when we don't see superstars for a while. I did hear, like I said, reports about TKO not knowing who's on their own roster. So once they show back up, I think the people got to perform. I know me and you was talking backstage about Fraxium um, just now being showed up, and we haven't seen them in quite some time. So I think that's one thing that we're now seeing once it comes to when it comes to looking at the group and just looking at the groups of people. Like I said, once again, guys, if you are new here, welcome in. We got a few people in here. If you are looking for the link to want to do a call in and be a guest speaker on the show, the link is in my bio. That's Mime the Great 305. You can click that link. It's right under the post, and it will bring you into the stream yard, and we will bring you up and just give us your thoughts about. If you got any thoughts about the releases, come on in and give us your thoughts. If you don't want to come and say something, leave a comment. We'll read it out loud. Me and Final Boss will read it out loud and share your thoughts about here with us in the IWC Final Boss. But let's move on to the
Hmm.
next thing since we was talking about releases Final Boss. From last week, from my understanding, there was many
Hmm.
reports of saying TKO the releases of last week. They were saying they do not like supernatural characters, so that's why we got the
Hmm.
releases of the Y6, Zelina Vega, and Alistair Black, and some of the people that we
The
know on the
Wyatts,
main roster.
the
Yeah, the
Y6.
Wyatts and stuff. Being released. Um,
Hmm.
I was very shocked about this when they said it, but it's not no shock because it's very hard to get that Nate's Undertaker. I think the Undertaker's the maybe the person that I think of that comes close to mind of being that supernatural of getting over final balls. I don't
Hmm.
have much about this. I'm just very shocked they came out and said it, but I do kind of believe the reports. You got anything about this news that had came out about the releases from last week?
Yeah, yeah, I did read that they weren't a fan of they said not supernatural, they said like dark gimmicks is what the word that they used. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, well, tough luck to you because a lot of the acts there are darker gimmicks. Like of course we had Selena Vega and Alice Black, and of course the White Six. But we also had Damian Priest, who really is a darker gimmick. He's not super dark because he has, especially now with R-Truth, he has this more of a comedic side to him, but his gimmick when he comes out is a dark gimmick. We also know him as what, the bisexual Undertaker. Um,
Oh, Lord. I
um,
don't think nobody called him that in quite some time.
yeah, but that's because he chatted with R-Truth, so he's kind of moved away. You see, he's kind of moving away from the darker stuff and is more on that comedy stuff with R-Truth. But before that move over, which is very recent, he had a darker gimmick. Um, Rhea is also what, a darker gimmick. Now, of course, she is a little bit on that softer side now because it teamed her with Io Sky, and that really kind of showed her being more of a softer side of Rhea. But she, is that darker gimmick. I mean, hell, she was with Damian Priest. They were the Terror Twins, right? Um,
Hmm.
and of course, they were part of the original Judgment Day with, Edge. Now Cope. But uh you also had um and this is, we had Alexa Bliss who had that darker bliss, that twisted bliss look to her. Now of course she has retired that gimmick in respect to the Y6. She was very close um to Bray Wyatt. They had that whole big and little thing. Remember that? Um but she had that double side of her too. She was still coming out with the Lily doll and having that look to her as an homage to, of course, Bray Wyatt. Um, Paige, yeah, little, not really darker image, but a little that little rock star chick
Hmm.
girl, right? Kind of have that
Dark
little
gimmick.
darker image.
Hmm.
Kind of same thing about Roxanne. Kind of has that darker image. Whether you look at it or not, see her character is not, but her look has a darker look to it. And then the darkest of them all is Stephanie Vaquer,
Yeah.
right? So so if they don't like darker gimmicks, man, is it tough luck to you? But that's why they're looking to kind of, if you look around, you now that we had a report, we're seeing the rumblings of it now because we're seeing what we're seeing, like I just stated, with Damian Priest taking that softer side, that comedic edge to him, because he's with R-Truth as a tag team. No, sorry.
Hmm.
Oh, I said Damian Truth or R-Truth. I'm sorry. I guess they don't do
No,
freaking team names anymore.
you
Well,
said them in
okay,
priest.
because
You said
back
them.
in the day, WWE used to love mixing people's name together.
As far
Um,
as I know, they just said Damien Priest and R Truth. As
yeah,
far
yeah,
as
yeah,
I
yeah,
know.
yeah, 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 yeah. The last name we got mixed together was Rio.
Yeah.
But yeah, but as you can see, yeah, he's taking that more comedic role to him. Um, you have Roxanne. We'll talk about this a little bit later on when we get into our analytics. But on Raw, she was showing hints of going babyface. So we got that. Now we just recently had the return of the demon, but you
Yeah.
guys don't like darker gimmicks.
You can't get no
But
darker than that right there.
but that's a special event. So I guess I'm having the ultimate character, which is usually Finn Balor, is saving them. But but we're seeing the softer side of Roxanne possibly gonna go babyface. Um, Paige, edgy gimmick, but she's doing what? She's with the Bellas, so and they're
Hmm.
more of a um preppy, style of women, like basically your regular preppy style of women. So and you're not going to see too much darkness there because the Bellas are on the opposite side of that kind of gimmick. Um, AJ Lee also on that rocker side, but of course she's away for now. The last time you saw her, she was dressed in very vibrant colors and with children. So we're not really seeing that. We talked about of course about Rhea having that softer side because she was teaming with Rio. Sorry, with not Rio. No, that's the name of the group with Io Sky. So we're really seeing those characters really kind of move away from them darker gimmicks. Now you can say something about Cure, but we don't know what's gonna happen once she comes back because as we found out that she's written off TV because she has a legitimate injury. It's an AC injury. So we don't know how her character may start to change. Maybe if they really are against the dark image gimmicks with her. But but with the stars that are left that they have not released that wore that gimmick, we're seeing them transition their gimmicks now. So it all kind of makes sense. We don't have Cameron Cross around anymore. He's been gone for some time now. So we don't really have anybody left that is that sweet gimmick anymore, really, besides Stephanie. But Stephanie is, of course, our injury. Uh, Danhausen is not, he's supposed to be a dark gimmick because he has like the teeth and everything, but he's more comedy. He's so over. They have no choice but to accept that, whether they like it or not. Sorry. That's really like that cash cow now. Um, but look what they're doing though. They're partnering him with the Miz, who is a what? He has been portrayed as being a comic style character. So I find that to be also odd. Are we gonna see more comedy, less evil, more very nice, less very evil? And if so, that would just kill Danhausen, man. They'll be in the dumps for real then. Um, I mean, they really would. But it's unfortunate. I guess they're one of the people that say, "Hey, I don't get it," and
Yeah.
that's okay because a lot of people are that way. A lot of people don't get comedy gimmicks. A lot of people don't get dark gimmicks. And I guess TKO is kind of on that realm. Remember, these are sports guys. UFC. This is WWE is a kind of a different um is a different spectrum from them. ESPN, same thing, sports. So it's a little bit of a different player for them. Um, and then we could argue, hey, maybe let go some members of the MFT because they had a darker gimmick with the face paint and everything.
Yeah.
So I could have also kind of played one of the factor roles and into that release. I don't think they probably didn't want Solo to have this mysterious group anymore. And I think Solo was kept around because one, he's great, and two, he's right in the middle of a super major storyline. Um, so they are, really disbanding his group. At this point. Um, luckily, um, Seth is not the Messiah anymore because if he was, they'd be like, Messiah, kind of like God. Is that supposed to be spooky? We're gonna have to disband that.
Yeah. We'll have to see. I'm very interested in is they're going to drop another statement about these releases, but we'll see when we get there. But let's go ahead and get to our next thing we got on today's topic. I don't know if you know, Final Boss, they did announce that the first hour of Backlash will be free on ESPN. Once again, we're getting that. Do you think that this is the new normal for the WWE? You think because last PLE for WrestleMania we got the first hour of WrestleMania for free, night one and night two, Now this time for Backlash, we're getting a lot of people are getting the first hour of
Yeah,
Backlash
I
for
saw
free.
that.
So do you think that this is the new normal for WWE Final Boss?
I thought it's the ESPN call. But maybe that's where they're gonna go. And I think they're doing a test run to see how does that affect their viewership about people watching that first hour for free and then, like that first hour and then move on to the paid side of ESPN, or they're looking at it as, hey, people are watching that first 3 hour and then, oh, not free, I'm gonna just drop off, and they see that viewership drop. I think they're doing that comparison now. You usually can't do that comparison of just one event, because that event that we had, which was WrestleMania, when they did that,
WrestleMania.
was the biggest event. So there probably were, so that those numbers can't really be used because it's the biggest event. So people were probably going to make that transition over to the paid side of ESPN. But we're now looking at regular PLEs or standards. Um, I would say they'll probably look at the next two PLEs to get like a good baseline to see if that's something that they should continue or if they should just knock it off. Because I feel like if numbers show people are just watching the 3 hour and then dropping off, I don't think they're going to do it anymore because it's just a waste. It's basically free product at that point. But they actually see that people are actually making that conversion of, let me go over and pay to see the rest, then I think they'll keep doing it. So we should know that by uh the well, really by SummerSlam. But I think SummerSlam, that big one, is gonna be definitely that first hour is gonna be free. So I would say where pay per view is that, well, PLE after SummerSlam is where they're gonna decide to continue doing it or not. Mhm.
Yeah. Well, that's basically most of our news for the DW news. Unless you seen some more news that came out, Final Boss. Did you see anything else that came out for us news wise?
Mm, did I see anything else?
I think we kind of covered mostly. Maybe
Thinking.
I know the releases was maybe the
I know
biggest
Kyrie
thing.
Sane. We had some Kyrie Sane news. Kyrie Sane was part of that first round of releases that was last weekend. There was reports going out saying that she was released because she expressed the wish to go back to Japan. But then it came out that that's kind of not true, or there's more to that story, where she goes back to Japan once a month anyway. But then she did release a statement saying that, there's been a lot of different reports coming out, but she said that she has never quit or never abandoned anything. So that news came out.
Yeah, I did see that. Shouts out to all of the reporters from the news we got. Shouts out to the Fightfuls, the SRS, better known as Sean Ross Saps, the Wrestle Talks, and Body Slam, and everyone else who does the reporting. Shouts out to y'all. Let's get into Raw Final Balls. We started off the week. We're going to just start off. I would like to start off with the um, we were speaking about the bloodline earlier. That this
Mhm.
live. You had Jacob actually attack Roman here at the end of the show. For we know it was the Tama Death Grip. I guess that's the move they're calling it. I wonder if they're going to still call it that with the things that happened today. But we know that they did not let the whole group go. But if I'm wondering if they go the direction you said, would they still call it that? Because that's what the actual name of it is. And it was actually
Mhm.
used by one of the Tonkins dad that we learned from off of here for SmackDown, because Jace did say it to Solo, but he did attack Roman, and it was a great segment between both of them. You heard Jacob tell Roman that, hey, when the bloodline was at the top, I was out here, trying to feed my family, trying to feed my kids, struggling and stuff, and no one called me. And he said, but Solo. And Roman turned around and said, Solo, Solo can't even get a cup of coffee. Why you think you're here?
Mm-hmm.
I'm the one that signed off on it. I love those lines and the way it's set up, and it seemed like it upset it, Jacob. And then this was the first time we actually seen the move get done on someone. And Jacob walked out the ring, and Roman got the mic and said, "Jacob, I'll see you at Backlash." And Jacob said, "No, I'll see you Monday." I like the way they did set
Mm-hmm.
this whole thing up. We did not know that at this time that he was going to be appearing on SmackDown. We'll touch on that when we get to our SmackDown segment. But I like the whole segment between these two. I'm a little excited, Final Boss, about the match. I still do not have Jacob winning, but I still want to see where the story's going to go, even with the releases that we said earlier. I'm still really interested on seeing the direction they're going to go, especially with the what we know of to today. Final Boss, you got any thoughts about this segment between Jacob attacking Roman?
Yeah, it was a really good segment. Of course, one of the best sellers in the business is Roman Reigns. He really did sell the attack, super great. I forgot what they call it. They call it like a vice grip or something along those lines. Um, but um, yeah, he sold it super great. And we also heard the report that the AC was broken in the arena. Roman was just drenching in sweat after the attack,
Yeah.
so it really helped also. But it did add an extra element to him selling that attack. It looked great on camera. Um, Everything you said about the back and forwards was also really really good, and it gave us the idea that it was possible that we were going to see um Jacob rejoin forces with Solo on Friday, because that's kind of where
Mm-hmm.
we left
Mm-hmm.
off at. Um, and I kind of feel like they could swerve us in the end and do that, because as we got that video that Jacob was on the phone with someone saying "I love you guys." So yeah, but it was really good. Um, Always good to see Roman. One of the things that I said on the timeline is that he looked super great. Man, does that title look great on Roman? Even if I'm not 100% sold on the story as I should be, man, the title does really look good on him. Comes out there is nothing like it, unless The Rock was there, but he's not. So in the meantime, the title does look really good on Roman. I really like his new shirt. That shirt is fire. Probably my favorite shirt from him recently. Um, I like the pacing of the segment too, because we had like 14 minutes left. He came out with the title. It was like he was really kind of soaking it in, and was like, oh, and just looking at the title, and just, oh, so good to have it. Then we go to commercial, and then we pick right back up, right? Kind of. So I really liked that pacing for some reason. I thought that was a good pace for WWE to, kind of put that commercial break in there. Um, and the only caveat I do have, and this is something we're going to talk about when we get over to the SmackDown side, is I understand Jacob wants to go for the title. He's going over here against Roman. There's family dynamics there. But I don't like the idea of them having the bloodline on, and I told you this, I like the idea of having the bloodline on both brands, and that story and the bill is not there yet. Like, it's just, I when we were deeper in that story, and there was enough to take over both brands, yes. But with them, with that story not being there yet, and them not, building the story just yet, because we're in the infancy of this new story. I don't like the idea of them having both brands. Sorry, being on
Yeah.
both brands, I should say.
Yeah.
It's
I
just
remember
not
you.
there for me yet.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that backstage.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think now we'll probably start seeing them on one show, but we'll have to see as we go along. Find the boss. I did hear that. And then if anyone knows about Laredo, I do, because I used to do some work down there, and it gets hot. Find the boss. It gets like 120 to almost
Well, the
150.
reports were it was 120 degrees on Monday.
And I do believe it. And when it gets 120, God, if you ain't got no heat, that's tough. I mean, no
You
AC.
mean, hold on, AC now. You don't want no
I
heat
mean
now. You're
AC.
gonna kill people now.
Yeah. I mean, not heat. My bad. AC. That's tough, man. I did some work in just pure heat. No AC. I'm talking about outside, and it's no joke. But shouts out to Roman. I mean, he's always a great seller. I just don't see Jacob. I'm pretty sure they're going to have a great match. It's just I'm wondering what's going to be next. Especially how is they going to go about this? Final boss. This is my thoughts about that. Let's get into our next topic, which is Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins. We're getting Braun Breaker versus Seth Rollins at Backlash Final Boss. We're finally getting this match. We did hear reports from the Fightfuls, the Busted Opens, the Wrestle Talk that this match did supposed to happen at WrestleMania, but we're getting that Backlash. Am I sold on it, Final Boss? Not yet. It seems like they put it together because we both got it. I do understand why they're doing it because he is the one that did turn on Seth first. He was the one that speared Seth. So we did see that. So I kind of understand why they are doing it. But I just don't I'm not into the story with them. Not just yet. I'm thinking that maybe something would maybe funky would happen here. I would not be surprised we see the re-debut of Bronson Reed. He interferes and comes into this match and then help Breaker out to win, and they continue this feud just for a little bit longer to just try to build up the tension, I guess. Final balls. But yeah, I can't wait to see how they're going to go about it and how they're going to further the story. Now, I did know that and we'll talk about the Street Profits here in quite some while, but the Street Profits did say that they are not with Seth Rollins. So that is very interesting. They did not go that route. So, and we'll talk about them about what's the actual direction they said they was going to go when they said it on Monday Final Balls. You got any thoughts about this potential match on Backlash next Saturday?
About which match?
The Breaker and Seth Rollins match.
Oh, I guess interference in there from the vision. Um,
Yeah.
but I gotta see what happens after the match. I feel like needs to be more there. Probably because Seth was gone from the story for so long. We didn't have that. We didn't have that long build.
Mm-hmm. We might have lost her, but she might have walked away right quick.
I'm here. I
Oh,
already said
okay.
my piece. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. I thought you had walked away. Yeah, I do agree with you on that, but we'll have to see. Let's get into our next topic here. I know you talked about it earlier today. I mean, early in the podcast with us here on DW Radio. Stephanie Vaquer was injured. I don't know, was she injured on Raw? From my understanding, I'm guessing she was already injured going into WrestleMania, and that's maybe one of the reasons why their match was so short. Final boss. I don't know if it was before WrestleMania, after
That's what
WrestleMania.
was reported, supposedly. Yeah.
Yeah. So, um, I'm just from what I did read, and I forgot where I read it at. They're saying that she's going to try to be targeted to come back around SummerSlam, which that seems about
I read that
reasonable
as
because
well.
yeah, so SummerSlam is about the almost dead near end of the year this year. So, um, and like you said, I would think that they may bring her as a new character, maybe give her a refresh, a rebrand. We'll have to see. Our best wishes and recovery with her. Um, I can't wait to see what she's going to do when she comes back. Where does she fit? I don't know if they're going to put her in the main card picture again because that's what she left off at. But we'll have to wait and see. with her final balls. I know you said your piece about Stephanie Vaquer, but do you got any more thoughts before we move to our next topic?
Yeah, it was kind of an odd placement because last week we got her staring down Liv, and then we got the beat down, so we thought, okay, she's back in the picture again. And then now we got the beat down, and now we know it's because of injury. So it was just kind of weird pacing of it. But I assume the whole point of that was to make her look strong as they wrote her off because of the injury, because she was, Stephanie Valkyrie, and she was champion up until Mania. So I think that's the idea, is to have her go out as strong. Um,
Mhm.
Similar to like a Rhea Ripley. Remember when Rhea Ripley was gone? We believe it was injury, possible, maybe not an injury, just to, to get married. But regardless, she was off TV. But the angle was, her arm getting pretty much destroyed by Liv.
Mhm.
And she had to relinquish the title. So it was a way to keep her strong. So I assume that was the same idea with Stephanie.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. I think they could. That's the route they should go with her final balls. That's a great idea. Even if they do the rebrand with her, I think that's the best way to go. It worked great for Rhea, and it might work great for her. So why not try it out? Um, Moving along, we had on Monday we had Obafemi actually taking on who did he face? Jesus. Who did he face? I can't think of who he faced. It faces someone. But after the match, he said he's doing an Obafemi Open Challenge fighting balls. I never seen no one do this, if I'm not mistaken. Um, I could be wrong. I could be mistaken. I mean, it could have happened in another company, but I'm not too sure of someone doing it without a title in WWE. I could be wrong. It could have been a time someone actually done this before. Um, it's not known to me if it was ever done in WWE from someone without a title. Um,
Well, that's what you gotta use Google for, Miami.
well, it
I,
didn't
I
pull up.
can't use it. They'll kick me out. But you have
It
to
didn't
search
pull
like
up on
open
my
challenges in
end.
WWE.
Well,
But
it just pulled up
really
championship matches. That was it. It didn't give me like no ones
interesting.
that was like just a person just doing it without a title. It just gave me title. Like it gave me a whole list of people that's defending their title. So I'm just going based off of from what I seen because it was like a long list of people doing open challenges, especially when John Cena used to do it. And I was like, well, maybe it's just title matches. Um, I'm very interested they're going this route. Final balls, especially now Jacob is on Raw. I wouldn't mind if Jacob does drop, doesn't win against Roman. They could do a match, but I don't know if they'll know who to decide who will be the winner if they go that route. Final balls. Um, Now Gunther's on SmackDown. I was saying before we found out, and we'll talk about Gunther when we get to our SmackDown segment. I was saying Gunther because this will be great to go do a one on one with him and Gunther, and maybe it could do something both to spark their careers and get Gunther back on track with going the direction he's going to go. I'm really interested on seeing how they're going to do this and how it's going to play out. Um, like I said, it's never been done, so the possibilities can be unlimited. But with some of the releases, I mean, I can't think of someone who will really make us say, "Man, that was a great match." That really is keeping Oba into that light, especially coming off a win with Brock Lesnar final boss. I know you had a lot of thoughts about this, especially Oba beating Brock after WrestleMania. Do you got any thoughts about this Oba Femi Open Challenge that he announced after his match on Raw? Nope, it was that bad. I don't blame you. Let's go to our next topic. I did say we was going to speak about the street profits. I did say that
Oh,
it
my
did.
bad. I was on mute. But
Oh,
what I
okay,
did say, yeah, what I
okay.
did say is that I said, is that I said, um, I posted on my timeline because someone on X said, well, I guess after WrestleMania, uh, creative is like washed. And I'm like, yeah, that's the case, and it's pretty accurate. It's really a downgrade for Obafemi. It's a downgrade for Obafemi, but with the right person, it's also a way to get another person over while pushing Obafemi. So it's kind of that idea. Um, but like I said, before we had the match at WrestleMania with Brock, I was like, well, if he beats Brock, then what's left for him to really do. The idea would be for him to beat Brock and retire, which is what he did. We just did it at an earlier time frame than what we had expected. Um, but that's what he did. So it's like, what now? I would assume the next idea would be, hey, put him in a title slot, but they haven't done that yet. They're doing other things, doing the bloodline story here. We have the Punk, or really the Punk and Cody stuff coming up over there. So that's not really a spot for them. I would assume that we'll have a whole bunch of people that are not as big, or even mostly mid carders would be taking on Oba. And then when we get towards the end, we'll get somebody that's either going to debut, that's going to be um, the next big thing and give him a really run for his money. Or we'll have him go against Braun Breaker, and I'll put them both over and set them up for a long-standing feud, just based on size and speed. Or by the time he's done with the open challenge, he'll literally destroy everyone. And then at the end of it, he'll say something along the lines of, well, I need real competition. And then we put him into a title slot.
Yeah, I didn't think about that too. Yeah, you could do that too. I can see them. That might be the route they make. Oh, final boss, beat everyone, and then he goes. He just says there's no one left. Sort of like Roman said, and tries to go for the title. Could it get over? I don't feel like it could, but we'll wait and have to see. Um,
Hey, remember something very important now. We, for John Cena's last match, it was down to like a, what do you call it? It was similar. It wasn't an open challenge, but it was a tournament
yeah,
to
yeah,
determine who
yeah,
was going to be. So it's kind of the same thing. It's kind of, open challenge slash tournament, kind of in that same realm of things. So now did it get Gunther more over? No. But it did solidify his character, if you think about it.
yeah,
But Kid do the same thing for Oba, where it solidifies his character because he's been proved to be so powerful that no one can beat him. And now he's ready for the title. And then who the title was at that time, I don't know. Um, maybe you might get a title change, down the road between Roman and Jacob. Maybe that may come. I don't think it's gonna come at Backlash, but it may come down the line, and I would like to see Jacob and Oba. I
yeah,
think that'll be a hell of a match based on size. I would like to see Oba and Roman, because remember, it's also a thing. Because remember what we heard at the post shows, that by the end of the year he wanted to do what? He wanted to take on Roman, and we
yeah,
assume for the title.
yeah,
So we may get that as well, because now Roman holds the title. Now we don't know how long this tournament, well, Open Challenge is going to go on, and we don't know how long Roman's going to have as a new champion. But ideally, if they mix him up based on time and him being champion, I would assume this call out will be for Roman.
yeah.
So I mean, we have that piece as well. Maybe we get to the point where all of the bloodline. because I would assume by then we'll have either them all join together or we'll still have the two divides. But all the bloodline will all challenge him. They all lose, and then Roman will be the last person, right? So
Yeah.
that, and then you will have him say, you know, the ruler is here, and that.
Like I said, the next topic was I was saying something about the Street Profits. I'm very surprised they didn't team them up with Seth Rollins, but I think they're not trying to rush it. I think maybe this is all part of the plan of trying to slow cook it to see how the crowd would be receptive to it. But they're going straight for the vision and for the tag titles. Joe Henry did debut on Raw. He was out there. He did a song about Logan Paul, said firing Logan Paul, and you seen Logan Paul come out there and did his rant crashing out, and they was trying to jump Joe Henry, and the Street Profits actually came out and saved Joe Henry. And then right after that, you seen Seth Rollins come to them and say thanks for helping me, and they said, "Oh, it was not about you. We're wanting to go for the tag team titles." And they said, "Hey, he thought it was about him," and walked off. I found that quite interesting. They went this route. Um, I'm really interested in seeing, are they going to join Seth or just stay by themselves? I really want them to. They was starting to do a heel run when they was on SmackDown. I want them to start that back. I think WWE just didn't know how to do it because they were still getting cheered. We was not cheering them because we was wanting them to continue to be babyface. We were cheering them because we are glad y'all finally turned them heel and they was actually doing good work. But yeah, I want to see when they're going to go for these titles. We might see it on the main event because they haven't announced it yet. But anything can happen Monday on the Go Home show. This Monday on Netflix, Final Boss. We'll have to wait and see. They could announce it on Monday that they might do a tag match for them on Backlash, but they might save it for main event because we know that's around the corner too. But do you have any thoughts about the Street Profits going for the tag titles? She may be back. She stepped out the studio for quite some time. Let's run down a couple of do a commercial break here, guys. Thank you guys for joining us. This is DWE Radio. It is powered by DWE TV. Yes, go follow the X page. That's DWE Television on X. Our new network for all of our shows. Starting off with the show on Sunday, we have who will be starting us off every week. It's the OG, one of the OGs of DWE now because we got new people. That's After the Slam podcast. He goes live. He starts us off on Sunday. That's 4:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He starts us off with the After Slam podcast. And right after that, we have the EVP show. That's Sunday Scoops. He goes on at 6:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's the EVP. And then later on that night at around 11:30, 12:00 p.m. Eastern Time for the nightcap, no pun intended. He does the LFG recap show for Sunday. So they start us off on Sundays. That was our commercial break as we get Final Boss back in here
I'm
to get
here.
her thoughts
I,
about these Street
I am
Profits.
here. Yeah. They better aim for the stars now that new day is gone. I'm gonna just leave it as that. Um, that's kind of where we are. But
Yeah.
I did also hear your your thoughts about Joe Henry's concert.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I had some concerns originally because I was like, this is gonna be really cheesy, not gonna get over. We know about his last concert. But
No, that wasn't him
uh,
though. That was
I know that was
oh yeah,
yeah, that
Ricky
was
Saints.
Page. No, Ricky Saints.
Yeah, Ricky
But
Saints.
but the idea of concerts typically don't go well. I think really the best concerts that we really got were Horace the Rock's concert, but as well as the Elias's concerts. I don't
Yes,
have
the
any other favorite
MKO.
concerts.
Yeah,
Anytime
yeah.
I hear concerts, I get cheesy. I'm like, oh, well, we heard about the last concert we had with the Saints, and it was so bad it's been mostly deleted.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm like, oh, this is gonna go pretty bad. And Joe Hendry was the kind of star where he was super over, and then he kind of lost his luster a little bit. Because remember, we had that whole surprise match between him and Randy at WrestleMania.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Well, he
so
debuted
he
with the
was
TNA
super,
title.
yeah. So it was super. So and then he kind of dimmed down a lot. So I was like, I don't know how I feel about this, but he came out and he delivered. It was cheesy, but it was cheesy in a good way. The Can we fire Logan Paul really got over. It was just kind of ironic because we're doing this right in the middle of releases, so we gotta fire him for real. And I think that's kind of why they kind of had that whole pump because like, oh well, is they really gonna fire him if we chant yes enough? So I think that was the whole idea kind of behind it, even though it's kind of in bad faith because there are people out there really getting released. It's unfortunate just because these stars gotta feed their families. Um, but I think it was very effective. I think it got super over. Um, the only thing though, the only caveat though, is that Logan Paul really tried of him being the overly dramatic uh character saying to Joe Henry, "Oh, you can't fire me. You don't have the power to do that. You can't do that." Was to him. It just kind of felt real forced for me, and it come off as natural, and not because it wasn't a good line, because that it's a typical reaction for the character. The reason why it didn't work is because that kind of line is meant for a character that is delusional or more comedic. So Logan Paul has not been that type of character. We are starting to see him kind of transition into a more comedic role, which everyone's kind of going down that route now. But we started seeing that once Breaker was out with injury when Division first gained the tag team title. We started kind of really seeing that when Breaker was gone. So but he's not there yet. So it's a night and day character for Logan Paul to go from, serious character, I'm, the guy that your girlfriend wants and, et cetera, uh, um, to, um, to now here we are being this kind of comedic character. So him saying that line didn't fit. It didn't fit for me. It felt real rehearsed, real forced for me. Now it was coming from somebody like that's more delusional, like kind of like KO character was overly dramatic. Would have been perfect. If it would have been on someone maybe like a R Truth because he's more comedic, would have been perfect. But on someone like Logan Paul, it just came off as forced for me. So I didn't really like his reaction to the Joe Henry lyric.
Yeah. Um, I think I do agree with you on that. I think the next topic will be you were saying something about Roxanne actually maybe going babyface. I think I've been seeing that coming from the boss when you asked me, especially when Finn got out the group. Um, they did kind of tease it, but I don't want her to join Finn Final Boss. She's been on the roster, the main roster. I'm
But
thinking
that's where,
might.
but that's where we're going now with the story though.
I know.
Because remember the last thing we got was okay. Remember right before WrestleMania, we had got them two were talking. It was Liv and Roxanne talking about
Mhm.
Finn, and then Stephanie, did a push. People got injured. Um, we we got there, and then as we saw last week, we got Liv saying, "Hey," before, so back to what we were saying before we got interrupted by Stephanie. So
Mm-hmm.
so they are setting up that story about her and Finn,
Mm-hmm.
about I would assume Roxanne turning on Liv and Raquel and I guess Dom, and JD, and going back to Finn because he was the one who brought her in to the Judgment Day. Liv didn't want her to really be in that part of Judgment Day. Finn brought
Yeah.
her in. Liv came back and was like, "Who the hell is this?" So and
Yeah.
they kind
Yeah.
of and then they got together and it was fine. And then things happened in the middle, where they kind of weren't working together as much because injuries and all that stuff. But that's where the story is going. But for me, my moment wasn't on Roxanne. My moment was on Finn Balor. I thought his work was really good. He came in there saying shush. It came off because he didn't want Liv and anybody to know he was back there in the clubhouse. Which the clubhouse was just really just the curtain and the couch TV. But not even like a room. But they, he didn't want nobody to know he was there. I thought his work came off as really, really authentic. It made me chuckle a little bit and kind of made me go, "Oh, look, he's there! Oh my god!" Um, and I thought it was really good. I also liked Roxanne. I think give her flowers. I think the look on her face maybe could be a next movie star. So, because her
Yeah. Yeah.
facial
She looked like
expression.
she was just looking
Yeah,
like she
her
was
facial
superstar.
expression was really good. So Liv, you wanna go to Hollywood? Yeah, you may want to watch out. Little Roxanne got a little one up on you. But
Liv wants to do music, if I'm not mistaken.
well, she did a movie last year,
Well, yeah, yeah, but I
so
think she said
wants to
she's
do
more
me.
into the music now for some reason. You,
Well,
you and her,
uh,
Britney fans, so y'all should get along very well.
I mean, her song did grow on me, but I got a lot of concerns there because the vocals weren't very good,
Yeah,
and we were really looking forward to her at least singing a piece of the song that she came out for WrestleMania, and she didn't sing anything. She just did her little dance moves on the track played, and that was it. Probably because she either one couldn't do the dance and the dance move without getting winded, or and her vocals were going to be ear pitching, scream nails on a chalkboard, um, live without any help. Because there have been some that have said, and some of that some is Russell Talk, so shouts out to them. When she says the greatest of all time, she kind of had that long note that they just nailed on a chalkboard. That sounds actually terrible. She's has a bad voice. So not sure how far that actually would go. And she also is not a really young breakout star. She is like, I believe, 31. So she ain't really young and she does not look young, at all. Not saying that she doesn't look good, but she also does not look like she could be 20. So with that being said, knowing all these factors here, could she make it in music? I don't think so, but she would have a little bit of a oomph because, of course, her WWE fans would, of course, enjoy her music because it's Liv, right? So you're gonna, of course, follow her. But from the outsiders that are not wrestling fans or not Liv fans, really would not see her making it without her doing a lot of training and things. And what I mean by training, that being musical can be trained. You learn how to play instruments. With a right vocalist, you can also learn how to sing. With a good choreographer, she can also learn how to dance. And she's missing all of those things right now. So it would take some work, but it's not impossible. So with that being said, the fact that she is missing those pieces is going to take some time. For her to actually get comfortable with her, you know, be able to perform and, confidently. So, but if she wants to do that, I mean, granted, I mean, good for her. Tiffany wants to do, I believe, Hollywood.
Oh,
Um,
okay. I didn't know that.
yeah, I think she wants to do Hollywood. Was it modeling? I think it was movies. Yeah, I think it was movies. Um,
Okay.
yeah, she said she wants to do movies by the time she's like in her 30s, apparently.
Okay.
Um, she wants to go to Hollywood. So, with that, I mean, hey, sky's the limit, I guess, really, because we don't know if she can act or not, but you know, hey, people have other ambitions outside of wrestling, which is
Yeah.
great. But for Liv, yeah, it would take some time for her to, actually be a credible artist, to actually like not just sell a few hundreds of records because people are Liv fans, but to actually be like that mega star, that mega breakout star. It would take some work. Well, we've seen it in the past. I mean, we've seen it with, and I think a good example of that would be when actors become musicians. Um, Remember, we saw that with Hannah Montana, who now, Miley Cyrus is a good transition. Ariana Grande, I say, was probably the most big recent one. She was originally in acting, and then transitioned over to music. Hilary Duff, which is one of my favorites, which I plan to see this summer. Another example of that, went from acting to music. When we got people that did the reverse, like Will Smith, who went from music to acting and did very, very well as well. So it's not impossible.
Yeah. You hit it on the head. We'll have to see what's gonna go on with
Wait, wait,
Roxanne, but
wait, and then hold on, very important before I forget. We also have wrestlers do the whole acting thing too. We've seen it with, of course, The Miz and with John Cena, who is why part of the reason why he's going. He's doing well over there with Batista. We
yeah,
see Triple H take a stab at it. We've seen Kane take a stab at it. We saw Kurt Angle take a stab at it. Most people don't know that, but I've seen that film. Don't watch it. Um, but um, but we have seen it, and of course, one of the greatest, the great one of all time, The Rock. So I mean, it can be done. It's just finding the right coaches to help you through it.
yeah. Um, that does for our raw things. Unless you have something else
Wait,
that
wait,
you
wait, I'm
wanted.
sorry. Did you say The Rock?
I mean, I may not say the Rock because you was talking about the Rock.
Oh, oh, oh,
And
okay.
happy birthday to the Rock. I know it's his
Yes,
birthday week.
yes,
You never know; he
yes,
might be
yes. The
listening.
people's
He might
champ,
the
the
people's
great,
champ.
the great one,
So
the High
so happy.
Chief,
Yeah, so yeah, the High Chief. So happy birthday to the High Chief. Shouts out to the High Chief, the Rock.
the great
Um,
one.
but that does for our Raw segments. Unless you had something else about Raw that happened on Raw you want to talk about before we go into our SmackDown stuff.
Do I have anything else for Raw? We got we didn't get AJ. We got Becky though. Um, um, hmm, hmm. Was there anything else noteworthy? I'm trying to think. No, I think that's all I got for Raw. Yeah.
Um, yeah, let's get right into it. Let's get into our SmackDown topics. We're going to just start it off. We had Ricky Saints, one of the NXT call ups, make his debut and had a match against Cody Rhodes. It was him versus Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes actually
Wait,
won,
was
and
Ethan Page on Raw or was he on SmackDown?
no, Ethan Page is on Raw. He came last week.
Yeah, so okay, yes. There was this week or previous week he was on. He came
No,
out
no,
and
no.
said,
It was previously. Remember we talked about it. Yeah, it was
uh,
previously.
did
It was
we?
him and who else? It was Ethan and who else it was with him, I think. No, I think it was just Ethan that came up on the Raw side, if I'm not mistaken. Because Jason Fatal Influence came on SmackDown.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I think
yeah,
it
yeah,
was
yeah.
just because we was waiting for Joe Henry, which he came today. So Joe Henry
Well, you mean
made
came
his
Monday?
debut.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Monday.
Monday.
Not today.
Yeah, Monday.
Today's Saturday now.
I mean Monday. You know, my bad. Monday. So that yeah, but Ricky Saints actually made his debut today. I mean Friday. Jesus, Friday, and it was an okay match. Final balls. We did learn that Cody's now clear, which is crazy. You could kind of see the damage that Randy Orton did to his eye is still there. I'm pretty sure that won't go away no time soon. Um, Let you know that hey, there's no kayfabe in that. He's dead. That was definitely real. But it like I say, it was a decent match. It was an okay match. Great debut. Like I say, it seems like that's the new normal. When you get caught up, they're starting to push these NXT stars, which I do love. I think that might be a great way of going now because I think that's the way you want to go. You want to start building new stars for the future because most of your old stars are getting retired and on their way out the door. And I think that's something on the IWC we have been begging them about. But yeah, he made his debut. Um, Kind of lost against Cody, but great performance from him. And then Cody Rhodes actually got attacked by Gunther, which we will talk about here next. But far as that, final balls, do you have any thoughts about Ricky Saints debuting and his match between him and Cody Rhodes?
Yeah, I thought the match was okay. But and I noticed, and I also see people on the timeline notice that when he came out, no pop.
Yeah, I did see that.
So
I think when it comes to I'm starting to worry about Roy's Keys here a little bit because it seems like it's slow to get him the crowd behind him too.
because people don't know who these stars are. The
Exactly.
the fans that don't watch anything besides just Raw and SmackDown and don't watch outside promotions have no idea who these stars are. Now, of
Yeah,
course,
that is true.
people, of course, like, people like me who has watched AEW, has other promotions, but have not done so in quite some time, at least
Mhm.
know the names. I'm familiar with
Yeah.
Powerhouse, I'm familiar with the Starks, but
Hmm.
I'm like, how long ago did I see them? Because I stopped watching those promotions.
Hmm.
And then I don't watch NXT.
Hmm.
So, for those fans that are, either like me or, haven't seen them ever, you're like, who the hell is this guy? And that's no offense to them because they're great, but the fans is like, who the hell, is this guy? So that's
Hmm.
why there's no pop. So WWE, their job now is to make them a known name.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Exactly.
that's what they have to go ahead and do. And you do that by what? Having great matches, having them cut good promos, and having them have a good gimmick and nice storytelling. You have to work on those stars.
Hmm.
You can't, this is not the early 2000s where, or 2010s also, where you can just kind of throw, people in a group and hoping that it gets over. Those days are kind of beyond us. We've seen that failed and flop with the vision, right? So
Yeah.
now we know that there is a 50-50 chance that it may work and it may not as far as putting people in a group, but the safest bet is to have them get over organically, and you do that by doing all the things that I said, and that's what Ricky needs. That's what Ethan Page needs. That is um what Royce
Joe
Keith
Henry.
needs.
Hmm.
That is what Joe Henry needs. But I think Joe Henry, people are familiar with him because he had that match against Randy a few years ago. He made some appearances right after that. But still, have to build up that character work for him to be a reputable name. Um, we have to continue to really do that. People like um like Trick Williams and Ova, yeah, they came from NXT, and even for fans like me who don't watch NXT, because their name was so big and they're so over with fans, we've heard about them, so we assume they are a big deal. the thing that got them is that what's the similarity between Oba and Trick? They have a entrance that the fans are engaged with. They always show people in the crowd doing the march like over Femi. The crowd is saying, whoop that Trick as Trick Williams is coming out. So for a fan that is not familiar with those two from NXT, we see that and like, okay, this person must be good. It's the whole, peer pressure, side with the group, and hey, I like them too, and then you get to see them because you expect them to be good and they are, and then it gets over. But with everybody else who I just listed, they don't have that crowd partic- crowd participation style entrance, so they really have to work on those characters a bit more than everyone else, and that's WWE's job. So let's see what they can do.
Yeah, yeah. Um, like I said, the next topic we had actually Gunther attack Cody Rhodes final boss. I was most shocked about this. I was like, what the heck is Gunther doing on SmackDown? But I don't know if you've seen it was during the R Truth and Fraxium and Damian Priest segment where you can see in the background you seen Paul Heyman talking to the general manager of SmackDown before this actually happened. And I think this kind of goes into one of the questions that I did have on the topic was Paul did Paul send Gunther to SmackDown to maybe kind of avoid Roman? Maybe there could be something there. It's very interesting they're going this route, but I think they're going this route because they don't know when Randy's going to come back. Maybe this could do something with the favor that Gunther was saying that Paul owed him. This
I would
kind of make
assume.
this maybe makes me confirm that Brock Lesnar maybe really is retired. There's no chance he might be coming back for a SummerSlam unless he requested to maybe go against Roman Reigns or something. Who knows? But yeah, I'm very shocked to see Gunther. Um, we have seen this match before between these two. Cody did win. By Cody still having a little injury, we did find out that this match will be at Backlash, Gunther versus Cody final balls. Do you think that will possibly maybe they'll put the undisputed title on Gunther?
Oh man. If Cody wasn't injured, I would say hell no. But the fact that he's injured, ooh, it's a possibility.
Yeah, I think so too. Final balls. I mean, it could. I mean, but they could play that into this story, and Cody could still win because I mean we know how it is. But I mean maybe they could do this and change titles and give Cody a little time off to try to heal up a little more. Because he came back quick. I found that he's cleared pretty quick because from what I thought I read that he was going to probably miss quite some time. I was thinking that he was not even going to have a match at Backlash Final Boss, from what I understand. But here we are, finna get this match between him and Gunther. So I don't know if this is going to be something where you can kind of write him off for a while and put the title on Gunther for a while, and then maybe gonna come back later on down the line, or just something else. I don't know. It's very interesting they are going this route with Gunther, and he's on SmackDown now. But we'll definitely have to see Final Boss as we get on to Backlash.
Yep.
Next and not least, somebody who you're concerned about and you love, we're getting Trick Williams versus Seth, um, Sami Zayn at Backlash again. This is
Uh.
part two of their match. We got a segment where Sami came out with the gingerbread man, and oh my god, the IWC is filming about this. Sami cut a promo about how Trick Williams was teasing him about the gingerbread man. He did this. It wasn't nobody in the suit, guys. He did a low blow, beat up the gingerbread man. Trick Williams came out there to Save the gingerbread man. Kind of gave him a baby. He gave a baby face pop. Final boss. It's very weird, and this is what something Trick Williams said he did want to do. He wanted to do this baby face. He wanted to do a baby face run because the crowd is booing Sami and they cheered Trick. They're cheering Trick now, which is very strange. But you seen him run the Sami out like a heel, and the crowd was cheering for Trick like he was a face now. So I'm wondering, is that the route we're going to go? We see no Yachty, but Trick did say that Sami did write Yachty off. I don't know if that's going to stay permanent. You've seen him do this angle with the gingerbread man. Trick Williams throwed up the X. Later on in the show, he was back there talking to Kathy Kelly. The doctor came out and told him that the gingerbread didn't make it. You've seen Michael Cole come on commentary say that there's going to be a funeral for the gingerbread man, and the IWC said this is the worstest thing that could ever happen in WWE. And me and you had a conversation about this, and I was like, man, oh man, y'all just don't know. I'm like, maybe we got some new fans that's now in WWE, but I read off the list of stuff that I remember. I'm like, no, this ain't the worst, guys. Trust me, it ain't.
Well, it's
What's
not
your
that.
thoughts
It's
about
the
this?
fact that Trick Williams is in this. Trick Williams, great, a lot of momentum coming in from NXT, and I feel like he's moving into this comic character, and it's weird how we just talked about how TKO is not a fan of dark characters, but yet instead we're seeing a lot of our favorites move into like comical style characters. And I feel like Trick Williams is kind of on that ledge right now based on how they booked him, and I hate it, it's just it's disappointing to me. Um, if that's the part that bothers me. Babyface thing, if he wants to do that, great by him. I can see him being one, but his character that we've seen, it doesn't come off as a babyface. It come off as like larger than life, cocky. Now you could put it as a tweener where he still has that same larger than life cocky, but he's also a baby face,
Mm-hmm.
style, kind of like Cena. Where Cena was really that tweener in the middle, where always a baby face, but that edgier baby face. That could be a Trick Williams, which that would be nice because it'll be the best of all worlds. It'd be what I think what most fans expect, and what if that is true, what um Trick Williams wants. I'd be the baby face. But yeah, that's how I feel about that. I'm not looking forward to the Ginger Man funeral because it's gonna be a whole lot of shenanigans and it's just gonna be all comedy. I'm not really a big fan of that. Now, I will say this: I have a lot of concerns about Sami Zayn because what they have done is that and I mean WWE TKO, they have taken a lot of realism and put it to his character where we got him coming on the mic for a couple weeks now, including last week, saying, kind of playing off people booing him. And he said this week, what have I done, for you guys to turn on me? So clearly WWE has seen, Sami Zayn isn't, the guy who we thought he was, because before Sami Zayn was looked at as the ultimate underdog. Fans love him.
Mm-hmm.
People just loved him for all these years. And just like that, Swift, he won the title from Carmelo, and now he has to go away heat now. They just don't like it. And they have played that into his character. He's still getting booed. So they have to
Mm-hmm.
turn him into a heel, or else what can you do with Sami Zayn? He has to drop all that goofy stuff, really go back to him being that demented Sami that we saw backstage weeks prior, him, getting mad. He has to really go back into that now because I don't think he's going to come out of this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Now here's the thing that was interesting though, is that we got a backstage moment between him and Cody. And
Mhm.
what did he say to Cody? He said to Cody, me and you are, we're kind of one and the same. We're like the last nice guys left. We're friends. And Cody kind of looked at him and said, "Hey, we're not the same." And I'm like, is he saying that because he's not a nice guy anymore? So it really kind of tipped around, and I know we've been saying this for years now, and literally has been years, but Cody may be moving away from being a baby face because he said it to Sammy, "Me and you are not the same." And Sammy said that line again about them being, we're the last two real nice guys left.
Mhm.
So I would have assumed it would have been Sammy who turns heel because based on the crowd reaction, but it looks like we're
Yep.
doing
Yep.
something with Cody.
I mean,
Um,
we'll have to see. I definitely am.
and never, never wishes, never want this, but I do kind of find it to be a real bad timing for the fans to be turning on superstars that are underdogs. Been there around like Sami Zayn, and they let people go. So could y'all stop booing Sami Zayn? If y'all fans of him, because hey, I'm not a Sami Zayn fan. I don't want him to go though. But I'm not a Sami Zayn fan. So if you are a Sami Zayn fan, please stop booing them because you don't want to get TKO any ideas. 'Cause I don't think they're too happy about they put that title from Carmelo to him and the fans turn like that. I don't think that was their intention. So yeah, you may want to stop doing that at least for now. You don't want to give them
We'll definitely have to
any
see.
ideas.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see. We did say that they will have a match this next Saturday. We'll see what's going on. Maybe Sammy does the full baby. I mean heel turn on at Backlash. Well, I think that would be cool. Might finally just go ahead and turn a full heel. Why not? Let's get into our next topic, which I thought you didn't know about. I thought you knew about here. Why is it not pulling up? I don't know. Hold on. Why is it not? Okay, there we go.
Oh, it's not showing the comment.
There you go. Oh, I don't know why it's not showing. Hold on.
Well, Slam is here, and we are his first family, and Slam is here. Just out after Slam.
Oh,
And CJ is here. Since I had the CJ the Golden Boy.
yeah, I see CJ. Shouts
Oh
out to
look!
CJ.
Oh look! It has a money
I,
thing. Oh
I
look! We can donate money. Stop playing.
oh Lord. Oh Lord, that's not
Oh
the
wait, no,
money
it's
thing.
not. It just says, "Hey, you can get discount on StreamYard." My bad. Anyway, I
Oh
thought we were
Lord.
gonna get some money.
Oh Lord.
I saw a dollar
Okay.
sign. I'm like, "Ooh, dollar sign."
He said Sammy. Yeah, I knew Sammy was from Montreal. Yeah, he's the guy where I'm
Yeah,
from.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, Slam is in Montreal. Okay. Hey,
Yeah,
shouts
I
out.
think he's from Montreal, and Kevin Owens is from Quebec.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken.
Is
He
he from?
said,
Wait, is he from Quebec? Yeah, I think he's from Quebec. He's not from Toronto. He's from
he
Quebec,
said
I
bring,
believe.
he said bring him back to the bloodline again. I know a lot of people
Oh, we
joking
talked
like
about that.
yeah. I seen a lot of people make the mean about that Slam when the first time when Jimmy and Jay was over there with Roman. I mean, we could, but they seem like they turned them heel. I think um the bloodline. I don't know if they're baby faces or tweeners right now. Um it's quite like the interest of seeing where they're
Well,
going to
hold
go with
on.
them.
What's part of the bloodline? Because the
Well,
whole
I'm talking about.
thing.
I think people want him to join back up with Roman and
Well, hold on,
Jay
because
and Jimmy.
the bloodline has two pieces. Because you have, of course, Roman is with the Usos, but then we have Jacob and Solo, and I guess who's left from his group. But it feels like Jacob is your baby face.
I don't know for him.
And
It seems like he's
because
more coming off
well
more
he's
heel.
the well I don't well it depends how you look at it. He seems to me to be the pissed off underdog baby face because you have him coming out there saying that it's his chance. He's been looked upon down by the family for a long time. Fans also look down, well, I guess I say fans, but people look down from him for a long time, him being the black sheep because of his past. He
Oh,
wants to get anything. everything, from the family that Roman has. Um, and then he's attacking Roman only because Roman is saying, you're not ready for this, and you got to acknowledge me. So I feel like Jacob is a babyface to me.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you can look at it like that. Shouts out to Greg who has a new co-host. This Monday they will be doing their they will be making their debut. Well, Greg has already made his debut, but his
Oh,
co-host
is
will be doing
that
their debut
because
Monday
because
at
I do
7
see
o'clock p.m.
I do see uh Slam said that Montreal is in Quebec, Canada. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't know that. Didn't
we
know.
did not know that. Slam, we not from Canada, so we can we learned this from you guys. We know you know
Hey,
because you
hey,
from
we
there.
gotta learn our geography now. We don't
For
we
real,
don't
for real.
know.
I look. I ain't scared to say I don't know. I don't know. I thought it was two different places. I
Well,
didn't even know that
we know,
was.
well, for us, that's still considered to be, even though it's not overseas, but it's still overseas. It's out of
Yeah,
U.S.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's foreign territory for us Americans. Yeah, now you know,
Um.
not saying we're not close to it because we are right
Yeah,
there, but
yeah, yeah, yeah.
we,
Definitely.
depending on what part of America you're from, you may not be right there. Like for me, it's a minute. For where you are, it's a long, long minute. So yeah.
Greg said that he felt like this SmackDown was actually, it felt like a Raw last night. So I guess he enjoyed SmackDown. So shouts out to him on that. He said, and Slam said, same, same thinking. LOL. And he said, yeah, the Montreal is Corvette. Like I said, we did not know that. Slam, for thanks teaching us that because we did not know. I mean, hey, you learn something new every day. Um, Before we get to our next topic, let's run down a couple more ads here. Like I say, shouts out. I did shout out everything that came on Sunday. You see, after Slam is in the chat, so that is one person that I did drop down on the Sunday schedule. If you guys wanted to go check him out, that was his name. On Monday, as you can see, Greg is in here. He will be him and his co-host, his new co-host, who will be making their debut this Monday. They will be doing the Go Home show for Monday Night Raw for Backlash. They will be doing the rundown. It's a 1 hour show at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They do the rundown. They run down the card, give you their thoughts about what they think is going to actually happen that night, and come on over here and hear their thoughts. It's a 1 hour rundown before Raw comes on. I think those two guys are going to knock it out the park. Shouts out to Kyle. Thanks for joining us on DWE. He's one of the new members of DWE. So shouts out to him on that. And like I said, come and join the rundown on Monday. That's 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And later on that night at 11:30, you get the EVP show. That's the EVP recaps at 11:30. He will be recapping everything that happened on Monday Night Raw. So after you hear Cal and Greg's thoughts, see did they actually get some of the things that happened right? Some of their thoughts, did it actually happen? Come and join CJ. He will actually give you the actual breakdown of what actually went down on that show. And Tuesday, you get me inside the NFL mind of Miami, where I give you the full trades, releases, signings, everything NFL to get you prepared for the NFL season. It's the Inside the NFL Mind of Miami. That's 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's one of our sports shows here on DWE TV. So thank you guys for joining me on that. And later on that Tuesday, you will get CJ again, the EVP show. That's NXT recaps on Tuesday, 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So thank you guys for that. Those are the schedule for Monday and Tuesday. We'll be going through most of the schedule, but since I have my co-host back with me here today, let's go back to our next topic because we got some more comments. And I don't know if my colleague or my co-host knew this, but um who will be Danhausen's tag partner at Backlash? Because I don't think you watched that segment. I thought you did, but
I
then
did.
with
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, we saw
Miz,
all that.
Mi-
I love, I love Danhausen.
mhm.
I feel like they're gonna put Danhausen down a notch with having the Miz. So I'm not too excited about that.
I don't. Well, from the way it started off, they're saying that the Miz is not didn't join them. It's going to be Danhausen with a mystery partner versus Miz
Hmm.
and Kid Wilson. I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know who they're going to team them with. It will be strange if they turn
Our
Miz,
truth.
but that would
It's
be
our
weird
truth.
because the whole story
Our
is that
truth.
he doesn't want. No, they can't because our truth is with Damon Priest.
Yeah, but they ain't
He's
going for a
still.
damn title. It is having a match.
I don't think so, Fireboss. I don't
Well,
think so.
who would they put with them?
I don't know. I can't think of no one. I can't think of no one. Unless they do an angle where, and it's gonna be weird. Unless they do an angle where Miz is going to turn on Kit Wilson and just join um
Danhausen.
Dan
Yeah.
Houser, but that's what they did Friday. So I think they kind of already killed that because it won't make sense because we were like, okay, y'all did it. Y'all did this this past yesterday, and then Miz didn't join them. So why should we believe him join them now?
Well, who
You
do
want
you
to
think?
always break
Well,
them
who
up.
could they use?
I don't know. I can't think of no one. I mean, Dan Houser been
Mm,
on SmackDown lately. Um, so I can't think of no
mm,
one who they can join them with. I maybe someone we haven't seen in quite some time.
like who?
Um, maybe Otis. I haven't seen Otis in quite some
Oh,
time.
okay. I can see that.
I haven't seen Otis. I mean, Otis is that comedy gimmick.
I think he would be a good asset to him because I think he kind of has that
Yeah,
comedic
silly
feel.
gimmick too. So it could come off of that. I mean, he could be because we haven't seen Otis in Tozawa in a while. Last time we seen them was when they faced the Usos for the tag titles.
Yeah,
That's the last time we've seen them. We haven't
yeah.
seen them backstage. We haven't seen them in quite some time. They actually was on the SummerSlam promo video. So, um, I mean, will we see them again be used? I don't know. But yeah, I don't know, Final Boss, who will be the mystery partner for Danhausen. I know how much you
Mm,
feel about Danhausen. You got any more
mm.
last thoughts before we get to
Yes,
our
I understand that.
last
Thanks.
topic of the day of DWE Radio? And we got two more comments. We'll read those off. And like I said, you guys, if you do want to do a call in, that link is on my page. It's that StreamYard link. You will see it. It will give you the directions of how to get in here if you want to make a call about anything we talked about today or something that you want to talk about when it comes to wrestling. Go ahead. If not, we're gonna just get out of here and close it out by the time we get to the end of the show. But we do got a lot of comments. The comments are rolling in. But Final Boss, you got any thoughts about Danhausen before we get to our last topic of today? Because that is one of the mystery things. But we got another mystery thing again, and we know how mystery things go with WWE. Final Boss might be busy, so we'll get back to her with that.
I'm here.
Okay,
But I
okay,
did like the whole thing between him and Nick Aldis when he was like, "Hey, you can find a tag team partner," and you kind of had like that doubt with Danhausen. Like, "Oh, okay,
yep,
I'll find one." So I really like that. And now we have that
yep.
whole mystery who's gonna be his partner. But
It's
I
gonna be
wonder
Jelly
when they're gonna
Roll.
reveal it though. No,
It's gonna be Jelly
because Jelly
Roll.
will quit. Nah, he's gone, man. He's done with y'all.
Speaking of mystery things, Final Boss, we had, and last time, like I said, this is maybe it's been a while since we had all these mysteries. We're going into two mysteries, this
Mm,
backlash, but you did speak on it. Jacob was on the
mm-hmm.
phone with a mystery person. I don't think it's no one, Final Boss. I think it was just his family, especially with everything that's going on. I think that it was just something they wanted to show. Um, him maybe
Mm-mm.
showing some
Mm-mm.
kind of emotion
Mm-mm.
of the reason why he
Mm-mm.
did it, but
Mm-mm.
I
Mm-mm.
don't think it's no one
Mm-mm.
for the boss.
Mm-mm.
But
Mm-mm.
do you got any
Mm-mm.
thoughts about someone being
Mm-mm.
the mystery person?
Well, that's what I would think too, because he said love you guys.
Mm-hmm.
But WWE is on X and is reposting it saying asking the question, who was Jacob on the phone with?
Yeah, yeah. I seen that, but I mean, every time we had these mystery things, it seems like they didn't give us the what we suspect, and I'm not suspecting nothing. I'm not unless they do a turnaround for the boss, unless they just do something. And with these releases, I'm not suspecting nothing for the boss.
When they
I mean,
when they have releases, that's when they hire people, right?
yeah, but I think they done. I think they done all the hiring. I don't see no one else out there they can go get. Fatu is
Uh,
the
I mean,
no. Go ahead.
who else we got? You gonna put Rikishi gonna come?
I wouldn't think Rikishi would join Jacob because I mean his
Mm.
boys are with Roman. I mean,
Well,
I mean, I
well,
would just
well.
think that.
Also on the other side, remember you got Solo. You got Solo on the other side, yo. So,
I mean, yeah.
hmm
I
hmm
mean, could they use Rikishi? Yeah,
hmm
but I wouldn't be surprised. But how would they
who
play
else
that?
we gonna get? We already assumed that. Well, well. There was a line that came up last night.
Was that?
Someone said, "Hey, I don't know if about blood, my blood." So yeah, mm,
Well, I love the promo from Solo because he said when he was talking about Tomaloa in there, um, he was saying one of the Tonga brothers. He was saying that hey, Jacob took out my crew. You took out his brothers. His blood is my blood. He basically said the same thing as the Rock. Shouts out to Funny Boss for making
yep,
it on
yep.
camera. But
Well, man, unless you want to see the ceiling, my bad. Work ceiling.
Um, but yeah, but I mean that was that there. But I'm with you. Last time we said this on one of the episodes of DW Radio. If you're going to tease it, go with it. I'm not gonna say it's the Rock or the Rock's got something involved with it. It could be Haku, someone who's close to the Rock. It could be. I mean, that could be someone he could be talking to. We did see Haku come out that time when he won the United States title back at WrestleMania. I mean, that could be someone he could be on the phone with. I know a lot of people are not too familiar with him. I mean, they could bring him in to so people can
Well,
start being familiar with him. I don't know.
well, wait a minute. Well, we know last week all the Tongas were there, correct?
Yeah, from what I say,
So
yes,
this week two are missing, right?
yes.
So maybe it's them.
Mm. You know what? I mean, I can see him doing that with everything that's going on. Just swap the story and they
Yeah.
join Jacob. I mean, I can
It,
see that.
it'll be a way to make it make sense that we don't have one of the Tongas around or
Yeah,
Mateo, because
yeah, yeah,
you'll have two with Jacob, and you have, I guess Solo just had just one Tonga left.
yeah. I mean, kind of basically almost doing sort of like how they sort of did Roman a little bit. I can see them doing that. I can see them doing that. Just going a different route. We'll
Hmm
have to see. Like I say, we'll see if that plays into Backlash because we do know that Jacob will be going against Roman Reigns at Backlash, but he said he's not waiting for Roman Reigns. He's going to see his you know what on Monday. Let's get to some of the comments and then we'll get to our final thoughts. Here, let's go. Let me go back up because I think I ended with the Sam. Yeah, he said something about that. Oh, we got speaking of Cal's there. Shouts out to Cal. Cal said, "What's up?" So Cal made appearance. Cal the man, the Anthony, who will be making his appearance on Monday for the ball.
Mm.
So shouts out to you, Cal. Thanks for stopping by, and being here with us to talk, listen to us talk about wrestling. Greg
Yep.
just
And
said,
remember,
shouts
they
out
have
to,
a big debut Monday. So
oh yeah. Um,
yeah.
Greg
So
already
right
gave him
now,
a name.
just got a little bit more, got a little bit more interesting. Trying to shake things up around here.
Oh Lord, okay, Okay, that's that old Vince McMahon line. Which that
I,
that
I
there
know.
they just ran out of draft. They just said, man, we done with the draft. We just gonna go back to we just swept everybody out. That's all they did. We knew that at
Hey,
that
hey,
time.
hey. WWE may be done with the draft, but WWE is not done with the draft. So
Oh no, we
just
never done with draft.
just just
Lee,
just remember that now.
Lee, we keeping some nostalgia from the WWE. Greg already gave them a name. He said Oldest Housing will be the name of Otis and Danhausen Final Balls. You like that name?
No.
Hey, that could be the name. Otis. I mean, Danhausen love putting housing in somebody's name. Could be. Um,
Oh
Reggie.
my
Oh, shout
God.
out to
Oh my
huh?
fucking God. You know, I just thought about something. It just hit me.
What's that?
Oh my fucking God. You know what fucking tag team partner could be? It's wild now. Get ready. Hold on to your horses now.
Okay,
Get ready.
go ahead.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Remember now, mystery tag partner for Danhausen, correct?
Yeah,
Correct? Okay.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Okay. Remember, what do we see at WrestleMania? John Cena and Hausen, right? Okay, I know he retired now. Just stay
Nah,
with me
you got.
though. But hold on
Oh, you know
now.
what?
He's planning
I
something big
forgot
for
that John Cena did say
Backlash.
he gonna do something for Backlash. I
Yes.
forgot about
Yes.
that, Final Balls.
Yes.
No, that'll be fucking. Man, you know what, Final Balls? Don't play with me like that. I did not think about that. I totally forgot about it because they haven't announced it yet. Because remember
Yep.
last week I was asking you when we was on camera. I was like, Final Balls, what is the big announcement John Cena have? And you was like, oh, it might be something with the WWE club stuff. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. Because it seems like he's going into that role, but I did not think about that. You know what? That would be crazy. Man, that would be crazy. And it's in Tampa. Man, you know what? I'm gonna hate missing that then. Man, they should, but that's another thing that they should have announced. But you know what? They could play that where they are doing that and seeing that, hey, you never know what's going to happen at a PLE to make people start buying tickets, Final Balls. That could be a market tactic.
Man, could you imagine that though? The only
I
thing though is
mean,
for him to
now
do
you're
that,
saying
he'll
it, it
have to
could
come out of
happen.
retirement. But it's just a
Exactly.
weird thing where we hear, hey, he's doing something special for Backlash.
Yeah, yeah. I forgot. I really forgot about that.
And it's Danhausen.
Yeah, man.
The only
And it's
thing is
big.
the only
You know,
thing that makes me
You know,
worried is that he is
Miz,
the only doubt that I have is that he said he's retired. So
and Miz and John Cena do have history. So I mean, there are
yeah,
some things
and
there.
not
So
even
you
that.
know,
We did have more history on his retirement tour because remember we had Miz come out. We had Miz also come
yeah,
out where he came out during the WrestleMania
yeah,
segment.
yeah. I did not think
Oh
about that.
my God! Because it just hit me. It hit me like a ton of bricks.
I did not think about that. Look, we
Man,
got a
if
preview.
they do that, if they actually do it and they announce it, which they probably won't, if they actually did that and announced it like the week before,
Oh,
they'll
the
see some
ticket
movement
sales
in
will
them
go
damn
stupid.
tickets.
The ticket
Yeah.
sales go stupid. Because I mean, I did not think about that. I did not think about that. But like I said, they could play that where they are doing that, and then every PLE, if it's in the United States, you get people are just like, man, let me go buy tickets just in case, because I never know what's going to happen. I mean, it's kind of smart. I mean, it's kind of clever, but we'll have to see how they play this. I did
Man,
not
and think
think
about
about
it.
that.
For Cena, it'll be an easy thing because it's a tag team match. So you have
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it'll be a quick 5 minute match. You have Danhausen do his little spiels, and it'll be the end, and then they'll win.
I
Um,
mean, what a moment for Dan Houser to get asked.
man.
What a moment!
Man,
This is a
man,
guy who went from he
if
actually
they
met The
pull that,
Rock
hey,
to
hey, hey, hey,
hanging with The
hey, they
Rock.
gotta let
Man,
go, Hey, they gotta let go people to pay John Cena for one more.
hey, you never know. Hey, you know what? That could be true too. Now you're saying it out loud. I'm like, huh? Man, yeah, Yeah, hey man, we got this little extra money, Johnson. You sure you don't want to do that? Look, we'll do 5 minutes
Now,
match.
granted, now we do have a number of people in here, so I don't want people to get all sad if it's not John Cena now, because we didn't
I
say we
mean,
heard
yeah,
that from
but I
somewhere. That's just
mean,
me thinking.
I mean, it's a good possibility it could be, but I didn't think about it. But hey,
But I
man,
haven't heard no
hey,
one, and I want to put this very
look,
clear out here. I want to say this right here, right now. If you hear it from somebody else, as far as what I have heard and seen, we were the first to say it. I was the first to say it. So if someone else say it, it's because they got it from me. But
look,
yeah.
we are not a source, but
But
hey,
I'm just saying,
if it,
I'm not saying dirt. I'm not saying journalists, but I'm saying if you hear other podcasts say it, you know, we leave for a
well,
reason. But yeah.
well, they knew him. They know we spit stuff off the rim. That's what DWE Radio is for. We're here to just it really is a fantasy booking type of show. Well, sometimes we just go off the rails and just say, "Hey, would this be cool?" We're not saying it's gonna 100% happen because if it does, I mean, most of the
If it
stuff we
does
have questions
happen, does
about.
that mean that if that does happen, that means DWE Radio will also be DWE Insider?
At that point,
No.
at some point, either the WWE is in here and they're saying, you know what, why not? Because we have joked about it and allude about
Is
it.
it WWE or is it TKO in here?
It could be TKO. It could be
Yeah,
your
okay.
good friend Sean Ross Sapp saying, "Hey man, y'all think about what you think about this idea? You know, I heard this on DW Radio, and they go along with it. Oh, you know what, Sam? You know what? We'll probably use that. You know, we have seen some things happen, man. Hey, if they use it, they use it. I think it'll
Hey,
be
if
pretty
they
cool.
man, if they get John Cena to do, but for them to make money off of it, they gotta either heavily tease it or reveal it. Like they can't just because no one's gonna believe he's gonna do it because he fucking
Heck
retired. We know how
no.
Cena
I
is,
on,
so
on,
they would have to really, yeah.
well, I'm like you. The last time we heard, and I haven't heard nothing else. I could be wrong. That John said he had a big surprise for Backlash, and as far as I know, I
He
haven't
did.
heard nothing yet. Now, if they come out Monday and say that, man, I think they'll get a little more ticket sales because people are like, man, look, we don't care. John retired. We still want to see him, man. Let's just be real.
Or it could be CM Punk. So
Now, I think Punk is going to be gone for a while. I mean, it could be. It
uh,
could be Punk. I mean, him and Punk have a relationship. It could be Punk, but I don't think Punk. I think Punk is going to be still in that main card picture because they did that angle with him and um seeing Cody. So I don't think so. I think Punk is taking some time off for a while and resting up. So I don't think it's Punk. Um, it could be. I mean, that could be a possibility. You never know, fine balls. We have to see. Shouts out to Reggie, one of the co-directors of co-producers of the rundown that be's with me in the back. We're kind of like the Triple H and whoever he wants to be backstage. Um, when it comes to the rundown, we have those guys out. He said it's better it better not be who I think it is. I think he's gonna say Pat McAfee. Lord, no. It's definitely y'all. You know what? When it comes to the Jacob, who was Jacob on the phone line to who this mystery opponent is, it's not Pat McAfee, y'all. Shouts out to the Body Slam account because I thought I could have swore I said, man, who let Fighter Balls log in? I was like, man, y'all need to stop. Pat McAfee is not coming back. Please, Lord, no. I do not need Pat in my life. No disrespect to Pat. He's a good guy, but I think after what happened, I don't think Pat is coming back, man. I think Pat is done with WWE. So we'll have to see. You got Greg up here giving out names to the teams that we said. Let's see. He said I did read the older housing one. Let me see. Um he said me too Final Balls. I could see them doing that as well. I guess he's agreeing you about the Cena thing. He said it could be It could be John Cena housing. I like that. Cena housing. Greg, what about that? What you think about that? He said, you can't Dan housing. You can't Dan Cena housing. Man, that will be a ton. Like I said, Fun Balls really kind of said something that I did not think. I really kind of slick forgot about Cena saying that he was gonna announce something or have something for Backlash. We was just thinking that it was gonna be him saying something for the WWE club because I think they're trying to get that off the air with them. So that's the direction I thought they was going to take. He said it's not Pat McAfee, y'all. Y'all to be cool, man. It's definitely not Pat McAfee. I think the reception for Pat, he did not like that, and I don't see. On time, he might come back. I don't even think he'll come back to do commentary the way he was booed so bad, and it's not because of him. It's the angle they put him in. I think that's something we have to think about when it comes to Pat McAfee. Shouts out to everyone. Like I say once again, we stopped off at the Tuesday schedule. If you guys want to go back and hear the rest of the schedule, you have to go back and listen to the show on YouTube or on Spotify. But I'll start off Wednesday. Wednesday is our new show. It will start off 7 o'clock. It will start off 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Smoke Session podcast. Our new people that joined us, they'll start at 8 o'clock. But this Wednesday coming up, it's actually they're going to be a guest with CJ. They will be doing the prediction show of Backlash. So join them for them. It actually starts at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So join those guys over there for them for that. And that Thursday, you catch me again for Inside the NFL Mind of Miami on Thursday, 6 o'clock p.m. And later on that night, you will get CJ. He will actually be doing TNA recaps on TNA for 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Friday, we're back. Sometimes Sam does a show from 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock. Sometimes he has guests at that time. You just got to follow the DW TV page to see will there be a show for that time around that time frame, because most of the time he goes live around that time. If not, guess what? We still have a show on Friday that will be at 10:30. My bad, 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. No, 11:30. I'm right. My bad. 11:30 because there's still 3 hours. They're not 2 hours yet. 11:30 Eastern Standard Time with CJ for the EVP recaps for SmackDown. There will not be a DW radio for this Saturday because we will be doing I think Backlash will be on, so we might do DW radio earlier that week.
No, isn't Backlash next week? Wait, when is
Yeah,
Backlash?
yeah, it's next Saturday.
Oh, okay. Well, I
It's
mean,
next Saturday.
did you?
You went out. Find about say that one more time.
I think Wednesday is the prediction day for CJ, isn't it?
Yeah, prediction day is
Okay.
Wednesday. Um, I might can switch. We can do a Tuesday if you want to. I can switch the NFL Inside the Mind of NFL of Miami on Thursday because I think the NFL is not catching up yet. I think everyone's waiting until we get real close to the season. We got still a long way to go because I think Monday is going to be a great show. So we can do it on Tuesday if you want to. I wouldn't mind. I think my schedule will be. I hope it'll be pretty good. We can go on a proper route like 6 or 4 o'clock. It depends on me and your schedule on Tuesday. Up and guess that's a maybe so.
Yes, maybe so. I don't know.
Okay, well, everyone just have to stick around. If not, we'll skip that week and just y'all have to just join us on the next time we go live
Well,
for DW Radio.
there'll probably be a show next week because it is
Go home
well,
show.
really the go home show, yeah, but before Backlash, so
Yeah,
it might be
yeah.
one next week. We don't know what day. You gotta wait. You know,
Um.
it's like what WWE is doing with the surprises. You know, we don't you know
Oh
what day they're
Lord.
gonna do it. You know who's on the phone. You know who's the tag team partner. So same thing.
Oh Lord, let's hope it be something. It well, the only way you would find that out, you have to give me a follow. I'm on X. I'm Miami the Great 305 on X. So please give me a follow. Give my co-host a follow. That's Final Boss Baby CFO. That's two B's, one
Radio,
Y CFO on X.
radio,
She normally retweets that on her page. Give
radio,
our new X page a follow.
radio,
That's DWETV. For now,
radio,
it's the network for
radio,
DWE.
WWE TV,
Yeah, DWE
WWE
TV.
television,
Yeah,
television,
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 DWE television.
television.
It's for the new. It's the television for the EVP
Hey,
show.
get ready, man. The DWE cassette player gonna come out next, man. Stop playing with
Oh
us.
Lord, we ain't gonna go that far back.
Hey, the 8 track
It's
coming
for
out
the
soon, man.
it's for the
DWE
show for
VHS
after.
coming out.
It's for the show after the Slam podcast. Let me go ahead. They did make comments in here, so let me put up their name
Radio,
so y'all can know where to
radio,
check them out because
radio,
they actually are on YouTube. Like I say,
radio.
EVP for the home of the EVP show. It's the home of the After the Slam podcast show. Um, Greg and Kyle usually go live on the Talk It Up podcast page. So go. I mean, not Talk It Up
Wait.
podcast page. The DWE page,
Television,
the television page.
TV.
I gotta get
It's
used to
like
the new name.
it's like MTV, but with more
Yeah,
shows
yeah.
now.
Um,
Yeah,
DWE TV television. Over there on the X page, they go live. So give that page a follow where you can catch their show. Catch the Smoke Session podcast page. Like I say, usually they go live on Wednesday, but they will actually be live with CJ for predictions this Wednesday for the go home for Backlash. So they will close us out and give their predictions for their thoughts for that. And that's mostly our shows. Like I say, my show for Inside the Mind of NFL Mind, and me and Final Boss's show, DWE Radio, the radio that's not on the radio. But guess what?
radio.
We're on YouTube. That's Talking Up Podcast on YouTube. We're on Twitch. That's DWE Radio. That's all put together on Twitch, and we're on X. Normally we go live on my page. That's Miami the Great 305, and the DWE television page now on X. We will catch you guys.
Television.
We will catch you guys. Don't know when we will actually go live. If you guys are going to be looking for us, so like I said, you got to go and follow us, Final Boss. You got any last final thoughts before we get out of here, Final Boss?
Hey. Remember now, if John Cena is announced to be Danhausen tag team partner,
Oh Lord.
he becomes fan housing because Cena's a fan apparently, you know, of Danhausen, or you know, uh Cena housing, then hey, I don't want to hear nothing now. Now if he's not, then they're gonna bring somebody mediocre. We all gonna be sad, man. Oh god damn, they don't ruin it.
I think they can't do that again, man. Man, they can't do that. They let us down so
And
bad with the surprise.
or they might bring out Cena Truth, you know, our truth just of his damn Cena, and then we might get that. And
Oh
he'll come
Lord.
out saying, "Hey, Cena's not here, but I'm the the next best thing.
Oh Lord.
I'm doing it
Hey,
on behalf of John Cena." And John Cena comes out and says, "Hey, you know, I'm retired, but I got someone who could fill in for me."
man, you know what? If it ain't Cena, then don't go a different
I
direction.
mean, he'll still come out there, but he'll just
Nah, I think fans will want that. You got me wanting it. Shouts out to the 408 people here. Thanks for supporting us. Like I said, for us to keep doing this, please go subscribe to our YouTube. That's Talk It Up Podcast on YouTube. Follow us on our
Yeah,
page.
and if you don't follow us or subscribe, the show canceled. I hope you know that, man.
Oh Lord. You see our usernames down at the bottom. Usually everyone who has a show, you will see their handles. Everyone has something different on the show. So you got to come to the show. Hopefully you guys have a favorite show. Who knows? Your favorite show might be the rundown. Your favorite show might be the smoke session. Your favorite show might be the EVP show. And it could also be after the slam podcast. Who knows? You have to let that person know when you come to the show. Other than that, thank you, Final Boss, for always joining me. Thanks to everyone for stopping by, hanging with us today on our normal Saturday. It's very rare we go live on a Saturday because it's either a PLE or something big comes up. And thank God
Yeah.
we went live today when the releases happen. I think that might be the second time that's ever happened since.
Well, yeah, because that was last week. Last
Yeah.
week we went live and they had released the first round.
Was it?
It was Saturday.
Was it on a Saturday? Oh,
It was set on Saturday. Like they released them on. Well, no, my bad. It was actually Friday. I believe it started. Correct, right? It was Friday.
I think it was. I thought it was. I
Mm,
thought it was early that week.
it was a weekend. No, it was a weekend for sure.
Shouts out to me, you Final Boss. 1 year. This week, we did our first live on the Talk It Up podcast. YouTube. Well, we did our first live, so we're a year in, baby. We're a year in, and look where we at now. We already making noise at 1 year. So, 1 year in this. Let's hope that it can be many more. Like I say, we cannot keep doing this without you guys. Like Funaball said, we don't have you guys. We're gonna have to pack it up and shut it down, close the doors. But other than that, supporting us. 1 year, baby. So thank you guys for that. Other than that, Funaballs, see you guys next time. See you again, Funaballs. We are out. Go ahead and say your favorite line that you love saying. Oh, nope, she's gone. Nope, she's gone. I think I didn't do this in quite some time. I do normally do the inspiring words, but it's been some time since I did this. I normally do this on DW Radio. Always remember, man, don't let no one dictate your path. Your path is your path. Your growth is your growth. Always remember that. No matter your journey is your journey. We all might come from the same background, but we all have different journeys. Don't let your journey get you down or put you down. Don't let your journey make you feel like you are not nothing, because guess what? It's just a testament of God, of what you're going to get through. I think that's one of the DWE quotes of the day. Other than that, guys, we are out. We are out of here. Thank you guys again for joining me and the Final Boss Baby, the unseen Final Boss Baby. Y'all don't forget that. And don't forget, she's your boss. She's your goddamn boss. And always remember, there's only one DWE. And guess what? DWE TV is now here. DWE television. Hey, good night to all the DWE people, all the DWE family, and the island of DWE that's still the chat to this day, because somebody who don't want to come back for their legacy. Good night. Good night, DWE. See you next week.